Yeah. Sisters. Brothers. Can we talk for a minute? Listen. Yeah. The air is thick with whispers, digital ghosts in the machine. They feed us fiction till our visions blur. You know the scene, you know it. Static on the screen, a 24-hour screen. All day, selling us a fractured dream, tearing at the seams. Facts, they got us locked in little boxes, picking sides. Pick a sides, while the real tide rises. And nobody hides, nobody. Podiums are burning, bridges turn to ash and dust. That trading rhetoric like bullets, banking on our lack of trust. That's right, got us debating headlines while the rent keeps going high. Got us fighting over labels while the future passes by. Like politicians playing chess with pawns that look like you and me. Selling off tomorrow for another jump in GDP. And what we talking about, the foolishness, the vanity. Arguing online while communities lose humanity. A fake voice on a fake beat gets more rage and more ink than a real mother working 3 jobs standing on the brink. They engineered the outrage, designed it to divide. So we never look up from our phones to see the coming tide. Can you hear the war drums pounding out a rhythm low? They're marching us to battle for a God we do not know. They want us choosing colors, but our blood all runs the same. Just strangers in a mirror, whispering a different name. And I'm praying for the day the sun won't care what shade we are. That we can see the human heart behind the battle scar. Tear down the flags and see the faces before we run out of safe places. I see the babies born into this atmosphere of hate. Taught to fear their neighbor before they learn to communicate. Lines drawn in the sand by hands that never touch the soil, while the working class backbone is bent in endless toil. From city blocks to country roads, from oceans to the plains. Different stories, different struggles, but we're carrying the same pain. Keep the people fighting over scraps upon the floor, so they never band together and demand a little more. Tell 'em they call it patriotism, tradition, call it pride. I call it ancient venom with a modern place to hide. Skin tone is the uniform they gave us for their war. The soul inside the flesh is what we should be fighting for. And I'm tired, so tired of singing this eulogy. Such a high people drown beneath manufactured hostility. The people got the power if they ever truly see. The chains are built from fear, not inevitability. Break free. No politician can heal a divided heart. No billionaire can tell us who we are. Who we are. The answer lives inside the people. Inside the people. Inside the people. Can you hear the war drum pounding out a rhythm low? They're marching us to battle for a God we do not know. They want us choosing colors, but our blood all runs the same. Just strangers in a mirror, whispering a different name. And I'm praying for the day the sun won't care what shade we are. That we can see the human heart behind the battle scar. Tear down the flags and see the faces before we run out of safe places. What if we looked each other in the eye, past the melanin, past the zip codes, and the bank accounts they fence us in? What if our only currency was empathy and grace? What if we found our real reflection in a stranger's face? This ain't a lyric, it's a lifeline. This ain't a song, it's a reminder. The real war was never race against race or neighbor against neighbor. It's truth against deception, wisdom against ignorance, love against fear. And every single day We choose which side wins.
Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Golden, and yes, we are back with another live, y'all. And untypical, we got some political things we're gonna be getting into, yes, on a Saturday. Because we kind of been running a little bit behind, with the content and whatnot. So we had some other things we had to touch on throughout the week. We typically like to do our politics throughout the week, but there's been some updates. And so we're going to be talking about that. Of course, it's going to be me and my lovely co-host Imani. And y'all bear with me, y'all. I've been having some technical difficulties as far as getting everything started. So that's what like really has been putting time back. And I really apologize about that because I know people's time is precious. So thank you so much for rocking with us still and giving us grace on that. So y'all, it is about 2:48 p.m. here Eastern time in the Carolinas and it's a lovely day. The sun is shining bright. So y'all know what that means. I'm in a great mood. It is hot out there though, so I am staying inside in the AC. I hope my voice is not as loud today. I think yesterday the volume was up a little bit high, so it kind of seemed like I was shouting. So I hope that I have the volume settings a little bit better today. I am still fighting off some type of summer cold or allergy or something. So outside of my regular raspy voice, my voice is breaking up a little bit in and out. But I got my tea and I got my water here, so we're gonna get through it. But how's everybody doing today? Shout out to Daisy. Daisy, thank you so much for coming in. Asher, what's up, Asher? You know, Mama Word is in the background. And I have, like I said, my lovely co host Imani here with me again. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring her up to the stage. So, Imani, girl, what is going on? How are you doing? How's the weather? How you feeling? What's the tea?
Yeah, it's still hot. It's still very warm. I'm good. Had a very quiet day today. Haven't done that much, but otherwise okay. What about you?
I'm doing all right, girl. Doing all right. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's a pretty decent day. Like I said, the sun is shining out there. So, it's a nice day. Typical stuff, child. Chasing the little one around, kicking it with mama, getting some housework done, things of that nature. Um, I got something planned for later, so going out a little bit this evening to have a little fun or whatever. But outside of that, yeah, it's a regular day. But there are some real current events, within the political space that we haven't been able to touch on and talk about, and we've waited for some of them as well, so we can see some of the updates and we have those now. So we'll be getting into that, y'all, and we'll let you know the meats and potatoes of all of those topics. But before we get into that, we have some opening statements and some housekeeping to do. So, Imani, I'm gonna let you kick it off per usual, bro.
Mm, I thought I'd. Sorry, I thought I'd hand the baton over to you today to see what you've seen on the YouTube streets.
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm still jigging around with my tech here. So, what have
Got you.
you been seeing around
Well,
these streets?
let's just say, y'all know we do our housekeeping over here, and when we do our housekeeping, and it's something that I really love, actually, right? It's a concept that we came up with so we can discuss some of the things in the earlier part of the live and then get into the regular content. But it's us really just giving our feedback and talking about some of the things that we do notice happening within the platform. And we want this platform to be safe. We want this platform to be fun. We all come to this platform for those purposes, just to have a good time, learn something new, kick it with people, meet people, and chill and all of the things. And I do remember that when I first got on the platform, it kind of had that energy. It was like that. And then somewhere it took a turn and a shift. And we're trying to get that back because people need an outlet more than ever. We have a lot going on in our real lives. We have a lot going on in the world and politics. We come here and talk about it with y'all, and we're going to talk about it today. And so YouTube can be an outlet for that. It's a social media space. We're supposed to be sociable with one another, right? It's supposed to be a good feeling when you come here. So I'm going to talk about a few things that I've witnessed, right? And these are the things that really is important for us to talk about because we know that there's a lot going on right now with some type of division, right, that is happening amongst the people. But there's also a division that is happening amongst certain selective races and groups and communities. And I just want to kind of touch on a little bit of attention when it comes to the economy and the weaponization of Black stereotypes. I just have to touch on that. I do. So, I've written up some notes here. Um, it is difficult to definitively prove an influx of viewers from any specific community without concrete data. However, when audiences actively egg creators on to engage in increasingly hostile, toxic exchanges, several distinct online dynamics are usually at play. On YouTube, these behaviors carry on a heavier weight when they intersect with systemic racial stereotypes. So, number one, the conflict economy. YouTube's algorithm rewards views, watch time, and high engagement. Heated arguments, personal feuds, and dramatic call outs naturally generate more comments, shares, clicks than calm, nuanced discussions. Over time, this trains audiences to expect and demand a high conflict style of entertainment. Now, number two, escalation and going harder. Online disputes rarely stay at baseline these days. They develop an expectation that each video must be more dramatic than the last. Audiences looking for novelty will push creators to go harder, use more extreme insults, or expose deeply personal information, reducing what could be a thoughtful debate into a pure spectacle. Now, we also have parasocial investment. Viewers frequently form intense one sided emotional bonds, which is called a parasocial relationship. This happens with creators online and teams. When conflict arises, these audiences don't see an objective disagreement, they see it as a war. They encourage hostility because they view it as defending their side or defeating a rival. We also need to talk about playing into harmful stereotypes, and this is one of the biggest things for me. When these dynamics happen among Black creators, particularly Black women, the damage goes deeper than simple internet drama. Black women have historically been targeted by systemic stereotypes that paint them as perpetually angry, aggressive, unrefined, or inherently combative. And when audiences actively reward Black creators for tearing one another down publicly, they aren't just consuming entertainment, they are funding and reinforcing these exact racist tropes. This culture crowds out a space for a healthy diversity of Black voices, experiences, and ideas, reducing complex individuals to caricatures. So, who actually benefits from all this? It's vital to look at the incentive structure of this content. When creators are pushed into deeply personal, degrading public fights, they are the ones who face real world stress, broken relationships, and lasting reputational harm. Audience, meanwhile, walks away with free entertainment and a platform walks away with ad revenue. So, what I think moving forward, and again, just my opinion, y'all can take it or you can leave it. Critiquing public statements, ideas, and actions is a normal part of open discussion. We know that. However, there is a strict line between intellectual disagreement and personal degradation. So, when analyzing or addressing these spaces, I think it's most effective to focus on observable behaviors, such as rewarding harassment, demanding extreme insults, or amplifying personal attacks, rather than attributing negative motives to an entire community or audience as a niche. And I hope that makes a little bit of sense, y'all. I hope y'all rocking with me when I come to speaking about that. Um, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and we're seeing what it is turning out to be and how it's continuing to be. Um, and that's one of the biggest things that we hear a lot of people say. You know, the internet, this platform, whatever, is one big stage. And when you get out on that stage, if you choose to get out on that stage, what type of show you're putting on is very important, not just for your audience, but for the world, for your people, how they see us as a whole and a collective. And that's all I got on that, Imani. You want to go ahead and share some of the things that you may have bear witness to when it comes to this YouTube platform?
I didn't even take the mute off. Yeah, I think you're right. It is getting a bit much now, and the dragging's getting more and more extreme. So I make you right. The other thing I was really going to talk about that I've noticed um, is that some of the roasts are becoming, well, quite vitriolic, quite, you know, some of the content that they're using to roast one another. You know, some things should never be be entertainment. And it doesn't matter how much you like or you strongly disagree with a person. Things like DV, essay, or childhood essay as a punchline or a roast crosses a line. Um, these things are not personal failings. They're traumatic experiences that happen to people. And mocking a survivor, it doesn't just hurt the person that they're targeting, it sends a message to every survivor watching that their pain can be used for laughs, clicks, and views. And remember this, you never know who's listening. There are people in our audience who have survived DV. There are people who carry the scars of SA or childhood SA. And there are people who've never told another soul what happened to them because they're afraid they won't be believed or because they fear being mocked and humiliated. And when trauma becomes content, those silent survivors hear that message too. And as far as I'm concerned, the same principle applies to children. Children should never become collateral damage in adult disputes. You know, speaking about someone's child, mocking a child with autism, or making comments about the possible unalivement of someone's child for content, it's not commentary, it's friggin' exploitation. You know, children don't choose to be a part of online conflicts, and a disability should never be treated as an insult or a source of entertainment. I mean, I don't get, do people not think about who may be watching? You know, parents raising autistic children, autistic adults, families who've experienced the unimaginable loss of a child. They don't come online expecting to see some of the most painful parts of their life turned into jokes or weapons. And we should hold people accountable for their choices. And we should challenge this misinformation, the hypocrisy, the harassment, and the real bullying and bad behavior. You know, we should it, challenge the bad behavior, but that is fair game. But there's a fundamental difference between criticizing what someone does and mocking the worst things that have happened to them or the innocent people they love. And our words have consequences. The internet has got a long memory, and people listening have long memories too. They remember how communities made them feel. They remember whether they found compassion or cruelty, and they remember whether a platform chose integrity or outrage. So, you know, let's remember that strength isn't shown by punching down at survivors or involving children in adult conflicts. Real strength is holding people accountable while protecting the dignity of those who've already suffered. Come on, we got to do better than this. This is really getting, you know, really low, low. And we should be building our communities where we can have tough conversations without losing our humanity. It's getting crazy out there. I mean, I just heard some stuff throughout this week, and I can't believe that people actually think that's a drag. You know, it's I don't know. I don't know what to say. That's what I was thinking about today before I came on. And I know we started on a downer, but you know, sometimes we got to address this stuff. It's just not good. I find that I'm switching a lot of of channels off, you know, at the moment. And of course, we've got, you know, the Ratchet Romance Chronicles going on over there, you know, some new dating show. But hey, that's another story.
Well said, Imani. I absolutely agree. And, we talk about these things as well. But one of the things that, I like to do is take accountability and be honest. And every time we have conversations like this, I do realize that before we can discuss these things, we have to hold up mirrors, right? And so I have had to do, that multiple times and have to continue to do so. So I will always hold up the mirror to myself. And we remember that old school saying, when you point one finger, you have four pointing back at you. So I am not, and we're not talking about these things to judge or criticize or ridicule anyone, because a lot of this type of behavior and rhetoric I have equally participated in too. And I also heard a great conversation and a comment that was, or a question that was asked, and a response that was given to that question um, on the live that I watched last night. And it was basically saying, the question basically was, you know, how do I put this? Do we all end off where we start off when we get onto this platform? And the answer is typically no. And so there was someone that was asked, when you first got on this platform, before being attacked or harassed or bullied or any of the things, um, were you that type of person to do those type of things, to basically retaliate? And the person said, no, I I wasn't seeking out to do these type of things or act this way at all. But when you keep getting hit, you know what I mean? Sometimes you hit back. And being sometimes on this platform and in this space with all of these things that go on, it can change you. It can change your character. You know what I mean? You find yourself doing things that you never would have done. They're not things that you want to do, but it's almost like you're getting pushed to your limit. Your back is against the wall, and then you find yourself right in the fight as well, just as equally as guilty as others. And so that is because of the way that, the platform and the sector or whatever it is you want to call it is operating. And we can change that energy to where we don't have to feel that way, where our backs are pushed against the wall and we have to retaliate and hit back harder than the person hit us. It doesn't have to be a boxing match, but it's up to us to change it, to change the energy that's within it, and to change the direction that it's going in. We have the ball is in our court, y'all. We just gotta pick it up and know what to do with it. You know what I mean? And so I do see that, and I do see that there's a lot of people that are equally coming to the realization that they're tired of fighting, they are tired of the vitriol, they are tired of the below the belt, and yeah, I think there's going to be some great change to come. So I'm hopeful. So I don't think we started off with a gloom, Imani. I think we started off with hope. And we're going to see a change and a shift when it comes to how we engage and interact with one another within this sector. Um, but sometimes it just takes pulling off the band-aid. You know what I mean? But outside of that, I didn't have anything more for housekeeping or opening comments. We can dig into the synopsis of what we're going to be talking about on the live, unless you have a few more things you want to add.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, you can. Let's go to the content.
All right, all right. All right, y'all. So you know how we do it over here, y'all. We got to get into these politics, and there's a lot of serious things going on. And so we have some heavy hitting current events and a political breakdown for you guys on this Saturday. We're going to be pulling back the layers on a tragic and suspicious unaliving of 18-year-old Nolan Wells in Mississippi and demanding real answers alongside Ben Crump, who is also fighting for justice when it comes to that case. We also will be tackling the terrifying reality of the recent ICE pow-powing of home builder Lorenzo uh, Arujo. I hope I'm saying that right. Lorenzo Arujo in Houston, exposing a racist pastor colonizer sermon and watching a digital community turn a toxic Facebook group into an absolute roast session. We take no sides. We stand on facts, and we're just bringing y'all some truth and some, heavy hitters here that maybe you have seen and maybe you have not. So if you guys could, if you like to, please hit the like button, tap into the conversation. You can share, and if you're watching on the replay, please leave a comment. We like to know what you think about the conversation and the content. Everybody who is here, thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate your presence and we appreciate what you have to say. Your insight is very important to us as well. If you choose to just lay back in the cut and just watch while you're kicking, your feet up and eating your popcorn, we can feel your presence as well. And we appreciate that too. But let's go ahead and talk about topic number one. And per usual, y'all know we have some videos and things of that nature that we'll be breaking down so you can get a little bit more of an idea of what's going on. So this heavy case right here, Nolan Wells, his parents and Ben Crump are now demanding more answers. So this is a heartbreaking and deeply suspicious passing of an 18-year-old Nolan Wells over the 4th of July weekend on Horn Island in Mississippi. Nolan was a star high school football player, an excellent swimmer, and had a beautiful soul. He went out on a boat with three unfortunate, well, I can't say unfortunate. I just got to tell it the way it is, y'all. Nolan is black. He went with his three friends, and they happen to be Caucasian. That's just what it is right now, okay? So please don't take that no kind of way. But he did never come home, okay? So instead, his friends returned, and they happened to have his cell phone and his keys, claiming that Nolan chose to stay behind on a deserted island by himself without his phone. His parents, Elmore and Christine, alongside civil rights attorney Ben Crump and Reverend Al Sharpton, held a powerful press conference. They are screaming from the rooftops that this does not add up. A viral cell phone video has surfaced now showing a physical altercation on the island between Nolan and these individuals before he actually went missing. Local law enforcement tried to quickly label this an accidental drowning, but the family does not trust them. And hey, that is what it is sometimes. So, thanks to support from Colin Kaepernick, Nolan's body has been flown to Washington, D.C. for an independent autopsy by a former chief medical examiner. And they are saying that we need real justice and real answers for Nolan. So, per usual, y'all, we do have some videos to cover this story. It is it's hurtful, and it's questionable. We need to get to the bottom of it, and that is what is being worked on. But let's go ahead and share this together, y'all, like we do here, typical golden style. So let me pop this up on the screen right quick, and y'all know we will listen together and we'll make some commentary as we go. If anybody has any additional information or, is close to this story and, may know what happened and what is going on, then, we're always open for that as well. So we can have the conversation, y'all. These are hard conversations sometimes that we have to have and hard topics that we have to cover. But this is what is happening in the world and in the community. So we have to talk about it. So shout out to Roland Martin and, the Roland Martin Unfiltered Network. If you guys have not checked out that network, you really should. We will be starting our first video there. And then we also have some updates after that will be coming actually from the Midas Touch Network and Ben Masalis. So let's dig into this, y'all, together and see what is really going on. Oh, yes. And don't forget, per usual, y'all, as we watch together, we will meet y'all in the chat.
Answers into the mysterious death of Nolan Wells, the 18-year-old African American who was found dead in Mississippi after he went out boating with a group of white friends on July 4th. Independent autopsy is being done on his body. The Mississippi officials say they continue this investigation. And again, we continue to ask the critical questions. What happened? What happened to this young man? And how did he end up dead? Joining us right now is Christine and Elmore Wansley, the parents of Nolan Wells, also the attorney, Ben Crump. I'm glad to have all three of you here. Certainly our condolences go out to you, Christine and Elmore, on the loss of your son.
Thank you.
I want to be clear in terms of trying to understand this timeline. What time did Nolan go out with his friends? What time did they go out voting on July 4th?
So that was sometime in the morning. I don't have the exact time. I do still have his information up on the Life 360, but it was earlier in the morning on July the 4th.
So, and so he said, hey, July 4th, we're going out for the day voting. Was this something that he had previously done with his group of friends?
Yes, it was. And there was no issues. And my son came home.
So, did he indicate for you what time they're going to be coming back?
No, like his dad has stated in multiple interviews, it was his last hurrah before reporting back to school. So we were just, going to let him have that time to really just decompress because, football can be a lot on you, especially too, he was a student athlete. So he wasn't just, doing one thing. He was having to manage both.
So the evening arrives. All of a sudden, it's getting darker. You have not heard back from your son. What then happened? What time did you and your husband begin to get concerned when you had not heard from or seen Nolan?
So honestly, we got concerned when we got the phone call. There have been times when Nolan has come in later because he and his friends are, watching movies or again at some type of party. So, that wasn't necessarily uncommon. But when I saw his friend call me, my heart dropped because I knew something was wrong. His friends do not call me like that.
What time was that?
That was around, that was, I think, 11:07 is when he called. And he said,
he leaves that morning.
Mm-hmm. So he left the evening before. So him and his friends had all stayed the night at one of the other friends' house.
Okay, so July 4th was that Saturday. So they stayed the night with some friends on Friday. So y'all last saw Nolan on Friday, and then he goes out with them on Saturday. Around 11:07 p.m. on Saturday, then you get this phone call. We've heard about them having his cell phone. When did they turn over his cell phone to you and your husband?
So they actually gave the cell phone to my friend. Whenever I got the call that Nolan was missing, I was like, you know what, let me call my friend Tashima because her sons, Jalen and Javon, Nolan actually, those are the guys he actually grew up with, right? Like from playing City League on up. We were very familiar with Jalen and Javon and their mom, again, they're friends of ours. And so I called her and I was like, hey, have you seen Nolan? Can you ask the boys? Have they talked to him? And she was like, you know what? And the boys, of course, they were like, no. So they're pulling up their location tracker on Snapchat because they all follow each other. And they, were able to help pin. I'm pulling mine up on Life 360. So between the two, we were able to determine where his phone was, which is not where his car was. So the car and the phone were in two separate locations. Elmore and I were trying to, after we got off the phone with Tashima, because she was like, hey, look, don't worry about it. I'll go get it. We went ahead and started calling authorities to see who we needed to file the missing persons report with.
And when you got the phone,
Elmore, I have. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ben. Go ahead.
You asked about the phone. It was important when they got the phone.
Mm-hmm. So it took a while. It took a little bit before the phone was handed over to my friend. And then we did meet up. And of course, we met up soon after. We filed the police report finally, and then she was on her way back towards Ocean Springs. So we met up at the second house to pick the car up, which is where he stayed overnight.
The only thing I was going to point out was...
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
The only thing I was going to point out that is very important, we believe, some of the Snapchat messages seem to have been deleted and some text messages seem to have been deleted. And we believe that could prove very relevant.
Elmore, I've raised 6 nieces. And first nieces when they were as early as a year and a half, and raised them all the way through. They were, even now, my twin nieces, and they're 22 years old. I don't know many kids today who they're never without these. And did that cause you suspicion that, and when you think about your son, was his phone always with him? Was he always on his phone? Was he always using his phone?
Yes.
You talked about, Christine, you talked about the life tracker. I would assume, just like my nieces, his hand was attached to the phone.
Yes.
All the time.
His hand was attached to his phone all the time. His hand and his phone was always in my face messing with me. So he wouldn't go nowhere without his phone. He wouldn't give someone else his phone and go off a whole nother way. It just wasn't in his character. We didn't raise him like that. For him to not stay with the people that he came with. We taught him that, like, if you go with someone, you stay with them. You go with them, you leave with them. You don't go off. You don't split from the group chasing a girl. There's girls back where you at. There's girls everywhere. So she's not the only one. You can find another girl. So I constantly drilled in his head to always stay with the group, always just be mindful of your surroundings. And you know,
all of the kids, really.
I constantly had those conversations with him until it's like I could tell he was getting tired of, Dad, you're nagging, but I kept saying, son, one day you're gonna thank me for me nagging you like this, because you're gonna say, Dad was right. And when that day comes, I want you to pick that same phone up and call me and tell me I'm right. So I say it's just hard for us to believe that he would choose to stay on an island without any kind of form of communication.
And see, that's the thing that jumps out at me. Again, knowing how young folks are today, if he says, okay, I'm gonna go with somebody else, they don't leave this. They don't, like, that's hey, be sure, give me my bag, make sure I have my phone, and being, that's what immediately jumps out, that he's separated from his phone. It takes so long for his parents to be notified. And then when you said it appears as if some items have been deleted, obviously people don't realize text messages cannot be deleted permanently. Have you already communicated with the cell phone company to be able to pull those records?
Yes, we are reaching out to experts to try to not only retrieve the deleted Snapchats, but the deleted messages, because we know on the video rolling that's been circulating all around the internet, we know there was some kind of argument where you hear Nolan saying, give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing? And then for him to not come back, but his 3 friends who were in the boat with him all come back with his phone, and he comes back a couple of days later on the shore dead. It doesn't add up, and it makes it hard for the sheriff to say, where there's no foul play that we found. Well, that's foul play there. When you're talking about an argument over a phone and then they take his phone and leave him on an island, it makes you scratch your head and say, this isn't adding up.
Have you, Christine, and first, have y'all had any? Did you have any conversations, any discussions with these? And was it 3 young men who went with your son, or was it more?
I think I'm pretty sure there were probably more present. 3 of them have reached out. And I know, and I've been sitting here kind of trying to go through all the facts and everything, because again, we're still grieving. Like it hasn't even been that long since our son, 4 days since he's been found. But I think maybe two or 3 parents have reached out. And I'm just, I'm in a mindset right now where I'm trying to protect my family. I'm trying to protect my peace, make sure my husband's okay. And it's a lot, because social media is just so nasty with what this pain that we're going through. Like, they think it's a joke, and it's horrible. And I pray that they never have to go through anything like this.
Well said.
Unfortunately, and Ben knows this, I've had to interview far too many of his clients. I always say this is a fraternity or sorority that no one wants to be a member of.
Absolutely.
What is so difficult here again is sort of like there's this fog, if you will, when you said that they've reached out. What the only explanation given was that, and did it come from his friends that he just decided to stay? That was it. They didn't convey anything else.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Sorry to cut it off right there, but we got to take a quick commentary break. So, wow. So, I don't know if y'all have seen this report already, or if this may be your first time seeing it. But there is a lot of, questionable suspicion around what actually really happened with this young man while being out on this boat trip or whatever, with his friends. And some of the things that I could say, and I don't know if y'all want me to be real, if you want me to keep it, GQ, whatever. Yeah, very odd. Very odd. It's 2026. I know how I am with my cell phone. I know how these teenagers and these kids are with their cell phones and things of that nature. And it's very odd to me. Like, I don't think that young man would have left anywhere or say he's staying back and not keep his cell phone with him. I think there's something odd about that. But again, that's for the professionals to decide. Imani, what's some of your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on what we have heard so far?
Yeah, I just wanted to. This is odd, and it's giving the Shanquilla Robinson type of scenario. What? I mean, not that he died in the same way, but what did they actually say that the parents of these other boys that he was with have not been in touch with them?
I agree, right? Because like that's very weird. And then as far as
No,
what they were saying,
no, I was asking a question. Was that what they said?
wait, repeat it again. I'm so sorry.
I was asking the other boys that were with him, Nolan
Uh-huh.
Wells, their parents and those boys, have they spoken to Nolan Wells' parents?
As far as what I could take from the interview and the conversation that they had, they said yes. Yes.
So they've
They're,
spoken to the parents.
the
I
parents are
don't
friends.
know.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know any young person who's going to leave their phone and their keys with their
Right.
friends
And so
and go off.
basically what their parents were saying were, is that they've been friends since tiny bots. You know what I mean? Little teeny tiny peanuts. And so
Mm.
the parents are friends with their parents, and their children are friends. And so when Nolan, excuse me, was like missing, they were like, okay, well, y'all came back from the trip. Where's Nolan at? And the kids are like, kind of frantic, like they don't know, they're trying to figure it out. And the parents contacted their friends, right? The other kids' parents as well, like, well, do y'all know anything? What do y'all know? And apparently they don't know. Like nobody's knowing anything except they have Nolan's cell phone and they have his keys. Also, they have his keys. His
Yeah,
keys. How do you have his
this is
phone and his keys?
yeah, this is the thing for me. They didn't come to tell them that Nolan was missing. The parents found out that Nolan was missing because he didn't come back. Is that the case? Or am I mistaking something here?
No, that's correct. These kids apparently have come back where they all go together, they come back together. They went together. However, they came back. Nolan didn't come back. So the parents are like, okay, I see the rest of the kids is back, but where's Nolan? Now the story is
That is
he
crazy to
chose to
me.
stay behind. That's what the story's supposed to be. Oh, he didn't come back because he chose to stay behind. But he stayed behind without his cell phone, his keys, and nothing. Uh-uh.
in
Mm-mm.
my opinion, in my opinion, if you came back with, and this is just in my opinion, if I came back without my friend and I've got his phone and I've got his keys, I'm dropping it to his house and saying that he stayed behind and here's his phone and his keys. Because didn't the parents track the location data?
Right. So, and then there's all of these talks around like Snapchat and I guess the messages and the text messages and stuff like that. But again, yeah, they should have these tracking devices. They're saying they were tracking through Snapchat, but I'm like, okay, just track it through the cell phone and the cell phone company. But anyway, neither here nor there. Yeah, I mean, like, but Imani, that even sounds crazy to me because it's just like there's no way that if I'm staying behind I'm going to leave behind or give you my cell phone and my keys. I need my
It's
cell
not
phone.
making
I need my keys. I'm not, if I'm choosing to stay behind, I'm going to stay behind with my things. You know what I mean? It's just not making sense to me.
it's not making sense. And it's my, and did I hear that there's some of these messages have been deleted as well?
Absolutely. And they're subpoenaing that information from the
Yeah.
phone company and the Snapchat app or whatnot, because there has been messages deleted. And also what they had said is there was a confrontation as to where this video is, going around or whatnot, as to which, they basically Nolan basically was saying, like, give me my cell phone, give me my keys. Oh God, here's JJ. As if they snatched it from him and kept it from him purposely.
Yeah, in my opinion, the story isn't added. The story, I mean, just thinking about being young, uh, uh, going somewhere with your friends, someone stays behind, and you've got their phone and their keys. You drop them to their house and say, "He stayed behind. We're just bringing his phone and his keys back." You're not going to hold on to it. But they probably didn't think about tracking of phones at that time until it was too late. And they also probably don't think, and in my opinion, I'm not saying that these boys have done anything, but just in my opinion, the deleted messages do not give more comfort. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that these boys have done anything, but the story's not making sense to me.
It's not adding up. And we're not saying that we're not saying anything that anybody has done. But it's just not, especially in 2026, the way these kids and teenagers is glued to these devices. Child, I got a 3-year-old. He's glued to a device. Okay, most of the time. And when he don't have it, child, he like, where's it? Where's it? I have to have it. I have to have it. They are addicted to these devices. I just do not see that boy saying, I'm gonna stay behind and stay behind without his device. It's not making sense. And then, like we said, the altercation, the alleged altercation that they say had happened, to where he was asking for his things and they were keeping them from him purposely. What's that about? Why do that? But let's play some more of the video. I gotta get JJ. And then we'll meet y'all in the chat.
Yeah.
That was it. They said that that he wanted to stay and hang out with this girl named Katie. And also, and this was the initial conversation, me being alerted to him being missing. It was, oh, well, Katie's also missing, but we don't know who she is. Like, that was our first time kind of seeing her type of thing. So then when I'm going to social media,
Wow.
I'm coming from a place with information that was given to me by people that were there.
Ben, and you mentioned the video circulating. There appeared to be a lot of boats in that area, and they were shooting video. In terms of this investigation, are you troubled by the lack of urgency that you're hearing from this sheriff, who's just sort of being somewhat nonchalant about what took place with Nolan Wells 4 days ago, or 6 days ago, if you will?
Yeah, Roland, we're very concerned because from the very beginning, his response was that, well, we don't think it was foul play. Well, how do you know? You haven't even investigated anything. And that video certainly makes you think that there's something that doesn't pass the smell test. And the fact that you have the young lady who said that Nolan said he was going to get back on the boat with the boys. And then the boys said, no, Nolan told them that he was going to stay with the girl. Which one is it? Somebody must not be telling the truth. And again, we cannot overstate it enough. What 18-year-old teenager says, I'm going to stay behind on the island and don't ask for their cell phone?
Well, especially when you look at the map that shows the distance this island from from where they came from. I do want to ask Christine, her husband, is here. So the photos that we've been showing, were those photos taken on that day, or was it a previous boating trip?
We think on that day.
That was taken on that day, specifically the one with all three of them. Whenever I had made the post asking for information, there was a young girl who reached out to me and she said, hey, Miss Christine, I know that in the report it's stating that he had black shorts on, but she was like, he actually had blue shorts. And those are two very different colors. Like, you can't get those two confused. And so what she did is she's like, I'm going to send you these pictures to show you, so, I could use to show everybody, like, this is actually the color of the shorts he was wearing. Because she was concerned too
So they had sent those photos to her, or have they?
No, these are pictures that she took. No, she took the pictures.
Okay, so she was.
Yeah, she took those herself and she sent them to me.
She was out there.
Yeah, she was out there.
Got it. Obviously, it has been 4 days since your son's body was found. 7 days since you last saw him. Are you concerned with the pace of this investigation? I would also ask Ben. I mean, do you believe? Initial reports saying that the young men have been questioned. No one obviously has been taken into custody. Any thoughts and concerns about that? The pace of this investigation, that here we are, it's 4 days later, and there still are so many unanswered basic questions.
Yeah, I know The family is very concerned. That's why they wanted an independent autopsy done, Roland Martin. And so the body was flown from Mississippi to Washington, D.C., because they wanted to have a doctor do an exam of his body that had no connections, no influence from the law officials in the state of Mississippi, because it's inescapable that, Roland, had the roles been reversed and you had 3 young black men and a young white man on a boat, and the white man dies or is killed, you will see a completely different investigation, Roland Martin. I mean, especially, and you got his cell phone, and you back on the island, and you leave him on the island. I mean, it's so many things that says you all are not doing a zealous investigation on behalf of the family of Nolan Wells. We want the same kind of investigation that you would have did if the roles were reversed for a young white man for our son too.
Absolutely.
Elmore, it has to be. I listened to you as you talked about your son felt like you were badgering him when all those questions, and the reality is, fathers and mothers desperately want to protect their children, want to provide them with as much cover as possible. And so, as you think about those many conversations, you absolutely believe that you gave your son so much information that you don't believe for a second that he would decide on a whim just to make some crazy decision and just go off with some other people he had no idea, didn't know who they were at all.
I believe I gave my son, like I said, enough information to not do that. He had too much at stake. He had a plan for his life. He knew what he wanted to do. He knew what he had to do coming up that following Monday, which was get down to business so he can get on with his life and get his future started. So for someone to tell me that Nolan decided to stay on the island to chase a girl, I do not believe you. No one is going to get me to believe that, not one bit. No, I can't believe that, because he wasn't raised like that. I had him super focused on what he wanted to do. He was finally buying into what I was talking about as far as sports and business, and really taking it serious and understanding that if he wanted it, he had to put in the work.
Just a couple of questions left. Christine, you talked about how nasty folks are on social media. It has to be extremely painful and difficult for you and your husband to see people who you don't know, who don't know you, who don't know your son, question you allowing him to be around white teens, questioning how you raised your son.
What I would say to that is the amount of love and support that we've received from our local community, people outside of our community, and even his friends, it's a testament to his character. It's a testament to us as parents. And this is the thing, I would never, and my husband the same, we would never tell our child, any of our children, you are not allowed to associate with this person over here because of the color of their skin, or because this person over here is purple. Absolutely not. And just the way Nolan's heart was, he was a friend to everybody. Like, he was just, his heart was that big. So, like, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I know we did everything we could as parents, raised our children as best as we could. We have always told them to be kind, caring, and respectful to others, no matter who they were. And that's the way we were raised. So if anyone has an issue with that, then that seems like that's a you problem, not a us problem.
Ben, final question for you. Have you gotten any indication? First of all, Ben, who's leading this investigation? Is it the sheriff or is it the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation?
I think at this time it's still the sheriff, because the sheriff is the one who's making the statements. The sheriff in Jackson County, Mississippi.
Do you want to see the MBI take this over?
I want to see somebody lead the investigation who's going to do so zealously. We are in a ferocious search for the truth. I mean, with every day that goes by, that makes it a little more daunting, a little more challenging. So time is of the essence. I mean, we don't want not one more sleepless night to go by just because they don't have answers. We know they're never going to have peace.
All right, y'all. So we're just gonna pause it right there, take a quick commentary break here. This is a very tragic story, and as we're hearing this story, there's actually some people out there that have had similar experiences or whatnot with people close to them, as well, friends and family. And so it's a very sad story that you have to, talk about and report on. But we want to bring these type of things to awareness because these type of things are happening everywhere, not just here in the United States. These are happening globally too, right? These injustices of where there's this mystery around what has happened to someone who is no longer here with us and trying to fight tooth and nail to get to the bottom of it. And so I just think it's very devastating, and like you did say in the earlier commentary, Imani, it is very similar to the Shanquella Robinson story. Friends go off on a venture together, travel together. Everyone else comes home but one. It's very suspicious. Um, and one of the things, that the parents were saying that they, told their son and told him is like, we all go together and we all come back together. And I remember that I didn't travel much in my youth, in my younger years, but I used to go out and party and stuff like that. But that also was our rule, even during those times. We all leave together, we all come home together. Period. That's it. Nobody gets left behind, nobody stays behind because we all looking out for one another. And so that's usually kind of like the underlying rule. And so a lot of this and all of the other aspects and things that we've heard about this story is giving very suspicious. And I'm telling you, for real, one of the main things that points out to me like a sore thumb is the whole cell phone situation. These teenagers and kids and youth are not leaving their cell phones behind. But Imani, what's some of your thoughts, feelings, and opinions about this second segment here of this report?
Yeah, I think the 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 real thing that gets to me is people on social media and their speculation that's adding to the family's grief. To be talking about whether they let him socialize with white people, really, that's not the important part. The important part is how the police have dealt with it, the assumptions they've made that it was not a suspicious death without any investigation, not whether or not his friends were white or not. It's whether they were good friends or bad friends. It's not about their color at the moment. It really isn't about their color. And it just pisses me off when these things get escalated on social media by people who have nothing better to do and not thinking about the grief of these parents and then wanting to criticize their parenting, but not criticizing their parenting to say that this boy went off and he did rugs or something. No, you want to criticize the fact they let him socialize and told him he should treat everybody as he'd like to be treated and treat everybody as an equal. I mean, where the fuck are we in 2026 when that's the best they can do on social media? And you know, it's just, for me, I think it's about transparency from the police, and I'm glad that they've taken it out of the state to get an independent autopsy to get, to get some answers, because I think it's more about the investigation than the boys. If the boys did do something, then it will come out if the investigation proceeds. But if not, if not, they've got Benjamin Crump on it, and I don't believe he's going to let any stone go unturned. So, I just think that, my heart goes out to the parents. There's a lot of inconsistencies here. The phone is the most suspicious, and this was an 18-year-old boy with everything to look forward to. It's very, very sad. That's what I'm getting from this.
Imani, I absolutely agree. And I agree with everybody here as well in the chat. And we all are pretty much on the same point about something is not right. And we have to get to the bottom of this, and justice does need to be served. But what we talked about on the entry of the live is exactly the reason why we pointed that out, because these type of racial tropes and rhetoric is what is becoming very dangerous, right? So it's not the fact that this young man was with three Caucasian or white friends or whatnot, and now his life is no longer here. We cannot say that that is the cause, that's the reason, or has anything to do with race. We don't know what happened. We just know that something happened that's a bit weird as far as how the evidence is turning up, and some things are suspicious. And so this is what we mean about these rhetorics when it comes to being online, and weaponizing race, weaponizing sexuality, anything, etc. Right? But right now we talk about race. The fact that yes, there is a lot of instances where it can be racial, but there's a lot of instances where it may not be. And we have to wait until we get the further evidence and facts of this story before we start telling that narrative and pushing that out to the social media platforms, because that's what leads to, I believe, a lot of more division and fear tactics when it comes to us connecting as a people. And when I say a people, that means all of us as a human race. And so these things happen, and they can have racial, ties to them, but sometimes not. Sometimes it could have just been an accident. It could have just been young people making poor decisions and something unfortunate happened. We have to wait for all of the evidence to come out, and we will see. We will see what it is and what it's about. But before you get to that point, it is very dangerous to assume and cast over judgments as far as oh well, he should have known better, he shouldn't have white friends. No, that's not what it is, because that's not how it is all of the time. And so that's equally as dangerous. Imani?
Yeah, I was just going to say social media needs no help in pushing out those narratives. They'll run with it whether it's there or not. They need no help on social media with this sort of narrative. They'll just run with whatever. Bad parenting, racism. A young man has died, and this is only what is it a week ago? Please
Yeah,
give
about a
people
week.
time to breathe. I think it's about the investigation more than anything else. And I think that this is possibly about friends going out, things happen, and them not telling the truth, which they may, if that is the case, live to regret, because the best thing to do is tell the truth up front. But, we have to wait and see. I'm not going to speculate that they did anything to him, because we don't know. But I'm glad they've taken the investigation away from the Mississippi police.
Right, because sometimes you know how it can be, the local they won't go as hard or have maybe I guess the resources to go as hard and as deep as they need to into the investigation. And so I'm just glad they're getting the, proper visuals on this. And they do have Ben Crump, and Crump has been known to be an excellent attorney when it comes to these type of cases. And just fighting for the justice and the fairness of the people, not necessarily to speak on race specifically, but just being good at what he does as far as fighting on justice and what is right for people, period. And so I hope we can get to the bottom of this. What we're going to do is take a quick song break. After this song break, we are going to cut this part short. And we also have Ben Masilas, who has some additional information on this case that he wants to, that he has spoken on. And we want to share that as well. So after the song break, we will pop that video up. If you guys want to listen to the rest of this interview with the parents here, of course, it's over on the Roland Martin Unfiltered Network and YouTube channel. You can watch the full thing there. And I'm pretty sure he'll be having updates to come, and we'll try to provide you with those as well. But yeah, let's take this song break, and then we'll get into Midas Touch Network with Ben Masilas. He has a few things that he came across as well. Also equally agreeing that some things are just not right here with this case. But we'll be right back after this song, y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with us. See you in just a bit.
The soul of humanity cries. A roof above, a shelter from the storm, a gentle hand to keep a spirit warm, a plate of food, a mind that's free to learn, a simple peace, a righteous wage to earn. That's right. These are the needs, the bedrock and the base, the sacred ground of the whole human race. But the screen is screaming, selling something cheap, while the real world babies cry themselves to sleep. Can't ignore it. We are human, blood and bone and soul. Say it loud, with a right to be loved, a right to be loved, a right to be made whole. This is our slave, this is our sacred song in the eyes of the creator. 'Cause where we all belong, we are human, worth more than they can price. Beyond the hateful whispers and the loaded gun. Yeah, they're painting pictures, twisted and unreal, teaching our children how they ought to feel. All that value's in the label on your shoes, or the filtered life you desperately choose. They magnify the hate, they celebrate the greed, and plant a poison to suffocate your weed. We gotta reach our children, pull them from the glow, and show them a beauty that the media don't know. Let them know. No tech division, the mission of the television, spitting division, a mental prison. Got the youth chasing life's addicted to the feed, ignore the hunger, the fundamental need. Nigga love your vitals on the digital stage, putting the future artists in a ritual cage. Now they gotta break the cycle, gotta cut the cord. The real word is powerful, mightier than the source. We teach them about their history, teach them about their grace, teach them about the power in every single face. Let's go. We are human, loud and blown and soul. Everyone got a right to be loved, got the right to be loved, a right to be made whole. This is our story, this is our sacred song in the eyes of the creator. There we all belong. We are human, worth more than they can price. Beyond the hateful whispers and the loaded gun. You will build a world where every voice is heard, every single one, from the suburbs to the curb. And love is not a whisper, but a mighty thunder. track, just a call to action for every mother, father, every single fraction of the unity, holding it down on the ground. Time to get loud, make a revolutionary sound. Look a child in the eye, tell them that they matter. Tell them their spirit's something that don't lie and shine. That's for the knowledge is the weapon, love is the shield, and the truth is the harvest. We gonna grow in this field, yeah. We are human. Oh yes, we are. Teach for children. Learn power. Teach for truth. Preach where you let the rules in the fruit. See the fruit. We are human. A right to live. Right to live. Oh. Teach the truth. Preach where you let the rules in the fruit. We are human. Sing the song. On this
All right, y'all. So thanks for rocking with us with that quick little song break. And thank y'all for your comments. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun to make the music. Once I started learning how to do it, it became fun for me. And then I also was like, well, I could just pour my heart, my feelings, and things that's on my mind and write them down, and put it into a song. Because, music is what brings us all together. And I can make all different, sounds and styles of music and stuff too. But yeah, I like the church style. Y'all know I grew up in the church and stuff like that. So, but yeah, thank y'all so much. And I'll learn how to put the lyrics and stuff up for you guys or whatnot, so that way you can see it. I think right now, like when you put up the song, like if you just do the song as a separate video, if you go to the transcript, it'll have like the lyrics. But I'll find a way to put it up like on the screen for y'all to see it or whatnot. But thank you, I appreciate that. That makes me feel good, y'all. But we're going to get back into the rest of the live, y'all. So, yeah. So, coming over from the Midas Touch Network and Ben Masilas, he also has been covering a lot of this story with this unfortunate situation with Nolan. And he has some things that they have actually now, excuse me, y'all. They have actually now found some additional information and details. Imani, you want to go on with that real quick while I just get some of this tea real quick?
Yeah, it's actually one of his colleagues. I can't remember what her name is, but it's a short video. It's about 12 minutes. She's just talking about the additional things that have happened since the investigation started. You all teed
Okay.
up now?
Yeah, I had to get a sip. Girl. My voice is going in and out, but thank you. All right, y'all. So let's just dive right into it, and we will meet y'all over in the chat. And let's see what the updates are that we have so far.
The kind, easygoing young man who was supposed to head back to Southwest Mississippi Community College in Summit on Monday to practice for the upcoming football season. They couldn't believe he was gone. Wells had a tight circle of friends raised with him in Ocean Springs. He was a calming influence. If an argument broke out when the kids were younger, Wells was likely the one to break it up. He was friendly to everyone and usually wore a smile, his friends said. That is from the Biloxi Sun-Herald. Hi, my name is Suri Crow, and you are watching the Midas Touch Network. Easygoing, mild-mannered, a multi-sport gifted athlete. Quote, he could spark up a whole room. Again, according to the Biloxi Sun-Herald, that is how two of Nolan Xavier Wells' best friends described the 18-year-old. Both of them spoke with him the last day that the teen was alive, and one of them, Javon Williams, was actually on the barrier island known as Horn Island, which sits about 10 miles off of the Mississippi mainland. Horn Island is where groups of young people headed off on the 4th of July in boats to hang out, party, and play. Nolan was aboard a boat with 3 of his other friends shown here, but he never came home.
Hey, good morning, Robin. The 4th of July celebration turned to tragedy for the family of Nolan Wells, and now they're hoping authorities will be able to pinpoint what exactly happened to him. This morning, the desperate search for answers in Mississippi after the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells, authorities recovering a body believed to be the teen. Investigators and volunteers from the Cajun Navy spent the weekend urgently searching for Wells after he vanished from Horn Island on July 4th.
Nolan Wells was on a boat. He left from a private dock area in the Ocean Springs area and proceeded with his friends to Horn Island.
Wells was visiting the barrier island 10 miles from the Gulf Coast, boating with friends, last seen about 3 p.m. Saturday.
They left and went back without Nolan. From what we understand, he chose to stay there.
Later that night, when he didn't return home, his mother reporting him missing to police, then quickly taking to social media, posting pictures of the teen, pleading for help finding him. The heartbreaking discovery made about 8:45 Monday morning when authorities say the Mississippi Community College wide receiver's suspected body was found in the water just off the shore. His mother writing, "His father, our family, friends, and I are absolutely devastated," describing Wells as a sweet son who was always willing to cheer and uplift others. Now, investigators say they suspect he drowned, but they're still interviewing friends who were with him as they work to pinpoint what exactly happened.
He chose to stay there on a remote island with no water, shelter, phone, or help, alone. According to his best friends, Trace Carter and Javon Williams, pictured here, Nolan did know how to swim, but the currents at the western tip of the island are reportedly very strong, and that's where investigators found him. So Nolan's death has gone viral on socials, due largely in part to his mom, Christine Wansley, who hit socials as hard as she possibly could as soon as she couldn't find her son last Saturday. His parents did recover his phone, which came back on the same boat with the 3 white friends he left with, who told deputies that they thought Nolan left with some girl he met on Horn Island that day. Now, people are having a hard time getting their minds around why the boys would leave Nolan behind, but take his phone with them. His friend Javon confirmed that Nolan was seen chatting with the girl on the island that day. He saw him, but that girl, Katie McCormick, has now come forward to Nolan's parents and is cooperating with investigators and said she had only met him that day and that she eventually left with her own family and figured that Nolan left with his own crew, according to reports. Here are some comments from social media. Joshua Dyron says, desperately hoping Mississippi gets Nolan Wells' case right. I'm so tired of black grief with no justice. Joey Anna says, I do not believe for 1 second that Nolan Wells went off with a girl and that's why they left him. In fact, I refuse to believe anything they say, especially now that I know that they came back with his fucking phone. Chasing Oz writes, those boys knew they could get away with leaving that boy behind on that island because they've never been held accountable. One kid's mother is a local judge. Another kid's dad is law enforcement in Mississippi. Disgusting. Mariah Lynn Joe writes, I hate that Nolan Wells believed he was amongst friends. I hate that at some point he realized he wasn't. And I hate that he died alone. Rest in power. We'll keep saying your name. It's true that his entire crew of at least the white boys pictured on his social media and the 3 boys he left with on the boat have shut their social media accounts down to private. I personally checked. One of the kids' stepmom is a judge, and one of the other kids' parents is reportedly a cop. So make of that what you will. There's a lot more to some of that story, particularly about the mom who's a judge. But I do find it odd that they all went radio silent, have lawyered up, and then told Nolan's parents that they have no idea where he was or what happened to him. But they left with his phone that came back on the boat with them. There's also a video that some believe is Nolan and those boys arguing. Here's civil and criminal litigator Thelma Anderson talk about what his so-called friends have been up to.
And let me post the last post one of them made pertaining to Nolan. This is what Jax posted yesterday. Don't post my son if you won't post up at the police station to give an accurate account of what happened. Don't post my child if you are not cooperating with law enforcement. Because then you're playing in my face. You want to post my child but you don't want to post up to give an accurate account of what happened to my child. Same go for you, Eric. You want to post my child and say you will see him soon, but you don't want to post up and tell the police how you going to see him soon. You know you weren't going to see him soon. You know something happened to him. Don't post him if you're not going to post up, pull up, give a statement, give an accurate account, and blow the whistle on what the hell happened. Because everything outside of that is bullshit. See you soon. See you soon. How? Y'all had his phone. He could not call for help. No underage or no teenager or no new adult is going to leave their phone. They are attached to their phone. Oh, I got something else. Listen, we got your back, Nolan. We ain't letting this slide. Not on our ancestors, not on your parents, not on your family, not on your life. Your internet virtual aunties and uncles gonna show out for you because we be damn. So let me tell you another individual that I didn't mention that they're going to need. They're going to need a social media person to go and pull every fucking thing. They're going to need more than one to have eyes and ears. Because what y'all don't know, they get on these social media apps and they post this shit and they think it's not discoverable. But as I say, anything you say, post, and receive can and will be used against you in a court of law. This did not have to happen.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's got a very Murdoch feeling to it. If you know the whole Murdoch story, after Paul Murdoch, who was a teenager at the time, was drunk driving the Murdoch boat that killed 19-year-old Mallory Beach. But instead of all white teens aboard a boat, now we've got 3 white boys and 1 black kid. Did race weigh in here? It's pretty hard to think that it didn't. Here's author and scholar Jamar Tisby.
Nolan Wells went missing on Saturday, the 4th of July, off the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. His lifeless body was found on Monday. We don't know all the facts. We don't know all the details. What we do know is Nolan was the only black person amid a group of young white men. They went out together, but Nolan did not come back with them. Online, of course, there is speculation and outrage. How is it that the only black person in this group doesn't come back with the group and ends up dead? Because we know this story. This is not the first time things like this have happened to us. And it is a chilling and tragic reminder that even though we get access to certain places and certain groups, it doesn't mean we're safe there. All grace and mercy to Nolan Wells' family in this moment, in this season of grief.
Look, lynchings are still happening in America. We do not know what happened here. It's an ongoing investigation. But what I do know, because I looked into this, is that Mississippi leads the South in the number of MDLs, modern day lynchings. According to the Crimson Record, which tracks lynchings in a 7-state region, unsurprisingly, that would be the South. And according to their data, Mississippi MDLs have steadily increased since 2021, with a record number of MDLs in 2024. We also know that white supremacists were marching around the nation's capital this 4th of July. We also know that Donald Trump is an avowed white supremacist, with a Supreme Court that seems to be hell-bent on carrying out his white nationalist agenda, with a top advisor in the White House in the form of Stephen Miller, who wants a white America. So racists are now openly waving their flags in our faces. Mississippi also has the longest pattern of misclassified MDLs and subpar investigations, according to the Crimson Report, due in part to low job skill requirements to be a coroner in Mississippi. One need only to have a high school diploma or equivalent, a high school diploma or a GED to determine how somebody died, which is why, in my opinion, only medical examiners should ever make cause of death determinations, because they are MDs, doctors, they're scientists. Coroners in these bohick towns making death determinations, to me, is crazy insane. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office says that the Nolan Wells case is still an active investigation, and the sheriff told the AP that his friends are cooperating with investigators and that they, quote, assumed Nolan was going to get right back with someone else. The sheriff's office is asking people with firsthand information only to contact them. Video, audio, photos, firsthand witness accounts. That does not mean stuff that you've picked up on social media, like reposts. And Nolan's family has now retained famed civil rights attorney Ben Crump. Autopsy results are pending as of this report. I know that far too often Black justice isn't something that happens for families in America. I truly hope that Nolan's family gets the answers that they deserve. Peace out to them.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at
All right, y'all. So we had a little bit of additional details there with, that commentary from the I'm sorry, y'all, the Midas Touch Network. If y'all have not checked out the Midas Touch Network, please go over to their channel, like, comment, and subscribe, and all of the things. They do some really great political coverage over there. And there are a lot of different correspondents. I believe it's very family based, but not maybe everybody is related. But I know Ben and some of his brothers and stuff like that. They all do their different segments and recordings, and they have other correspondents as well. But it's a great channel. Overall, what I have to say about this case is, they do have, Ben Crump. He is on the case, and we know that he's a great lawyer. He gets to the bottom of some of these civil rights issues, especially when that is something that is questionable. And I guess for all of us who are seeing it, we can kind of agree that something is just not clean in the milk. And we need to get to the bottom of this. We need to have justice for this young man and justice for other cases such as this as well, and be able to, not have these things happen. But will teenagers be teenagers and do what they do? That is also a thing as well. So we don't want to pass too fast of a judgment when it comes to any type of racial and discrepancies or whatnot, because we cannot be sure that that's what it's about. But we will know more details will be coming out probably throughout this upcoming week. But overall, what are some of your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on this, Imani, before we get into the next topic?
Sorry, it's good that people are staying on top of this. Like I said, I believe Colin Kaepernick as well is trying to help the family. And like I said, yeah, people need to be on top of that. What I don't understand, what I really don't understand, is the fact that they left him on an island and said he was getting a lift back, like he was at the McDonald's drive-by or something, just down the street from his home. It smells fishy. And then when you hear what some of the parents' jobs are, it smells even fishier. It kind of, in my opinion, stinks of a cover up somewhere along the line. And this may just be one of those accidents that have happened and parents have got involved, in my opinion. But we won't know until all the details come out. I'm glad they're staying on top of it. This report was definitely a bit more notched up and radical. But yeah, this does not, it's the phone and the keys for me, and the fact that you don't go to the parents' house straight away and say, he left his keys and his phone, he's coming back. They have to find out that their son is missing by themselves. It's crazy to me. Crazy, crazy and suspicious, in my opinion.
I agree. And, I think that one of the things that, really stands out the most here, and maybe, we in different times, I get that we have to understand friendship is just not what friendship used to be. Because I'm telling you, like, back when I was growing up and stuff, in the 90s and things like that, and my heyday, child, when I was young and fine and all the things, and going out there in my 20s and stuff, we looked after each other. Like, we not gonna let each other be in harm's way. We not gonna leave each other behind. Like, And I don't know if that's a girls' code thing or a bros' code thing. I just think it's a friendship thing. But if somebody's your friend and you talking about y'all grew up since y'all was small little peewees, right? You know what I mean? Like little tots on, the lot playing on the sand lot, and you grow up together. I just feel as though you would have more of a compassion and care for your friend. You know what I mean? Like, I think that we really got to redefine what friendship really looks like and what it is, and how to really show up and be a true friend in many different circumstances. In a circumstance like that, I'm sorry, we don't know all of the details as to how it went down, but we know these teenagers will not go nowhere without these devices. That's just, we can just let technology just solve the case alone. Like, teenagers is not going nowhere without their devices. Then they say, "Oh, he gonna catch an Uber." How you gonna get an Uber if he ain't got a cell phone? You gotta have a cell phone to get an Uber. You gotta have your cell phone to get a Lyft. It's not adding up and it's not making sense. And so, we can use our common sense, but we also need to be fair and let the law do what the law will do and things of that nature. And so we will probably, I know, hear more this week about some updated details when it comes to this case. Best believe, y'all, we will be on it. We will be following it closely, and yeah, we will see how this goes. But no laughs or jokes or nothing like that. All of that aside, rest in peace to that young man. He had a very, bright future ahead of him based off of the things that he was doing and he was accomplishing. And unfortunately now, he's not going to be able to, see that into fruition within the flesh on the earth. But his spirit, and his soul is where it belongs. I believe that in my heart. And so God bless him and God bless to his family. And we hope justice will be served. But yeah, that's all I got on that, Imani. It's very touching case. Um, we do need to get into our next topic, so let me go ahead and give y'all a little bit of a synopsis of what we'll be talking about there. So again, y'all, unfortunately, there's more going on. So yeah, we'll be getting into Ben Silas, and he'll be reporting on what has happened in Houston, Texas. So this next topic is heavy and infuriating. In Houston, Texas, all hell has broken loose after Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is ICE, Trump's people, agent has pow-powed an unalived 52-year-old Lorenzo Salgado Arujo. Lorenzo was a dedicated home builder who lived in the U.S. for 35 years, had a zero criminal record, and worked from sunrise to sunset to put his three sons through college, one of whom is a local school teacher. Lorenzo was simply driving with his construction crew to a job site in a white van when federal agents targeted him. A horrifying bystander video shows Lorenzo handcuffed, unfortunately bleeding out onto the pavement and groaning in agony while agents stood over him without administering first aid. The administration is claiming he tried to ram an officer, but federal officials admit that agents were not wearing body cameras and they are refusing to release the name of the Pow Power. The community has taken to the streets in protest, demanding an independent probe, which is necessary. And so, y'all, let's go ahead and pop this video up real quick. While I'm doing that, Imani, do you have any thoughts you want to give about this case right here, or you want to just wait till we watch it all together?
I'll wait till we watch it.
Okay, yeah. This is sad. This is sad. And so the thing about what we're seeing an uptick of right now is just, child, we is just so disconnected as a people. There is so much hatred. There is so much violence. It has to stop. It has to stop. It's just really getting very sick. And it turns my stomach. And I have to call out things as I see them fit, and I will do so. But just because I do that, it doesn't mean that I don't have a level of humanity that I want to see for this world, for this globe. Like, we all are one. We all do get that, right? But it's just, can we all get that? and understand that. Because some people don't. And some people don't act like it. They don't talk like it. They don't speak like it. They don't walk like it. And that's the issue. We got to call it out when those things happen. But it's not that we don't see that we all are one. These things are not right. So anyway, y'all, let's just get into this video real quick. Y'all know we will meet y'all over in the chat per usual. Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Say his name, Lorenzo Salgado Arrojo, who was murdered in cold blood this past Tuesday by Donald Trump's ICE Gestapo in the early hours of the morning as he was headed to work with 3 other workers, including his brother, in his white van in a company that he owned where he employed multiple people. Trump's ICE Gestapo pulled up, rammed him, and then murdered him in cold blood, then took his belongings, took his wallet, called him a John Doe so that his family couldn't even identify him, then tried to round up the others in the car, did round up the others in the van, then tried to force them to self-deport in order to avoid them from telling the truth about what really went down, that the ICE Gestapo murdered Lorenzo Salgado Arrojo in cold blood. Fortunately, the community has come together. Investigative journalists have come together. The Arrojo family hired a great legal team, and there's been great community support. And they exposed the Trump regime's cover up. The Trump regime tried to claim, oh, this was some criminal who tried to go after us and he tried to attack us and we were acting in self-defense. That was all exposed as a lie. Now, all hell is breaking loose right now in Houston as the Trump regime still refuses to take accountability. They're saying, well, actually, we were looking for Guatemalan criminals. That's what we were doing. And so it was a case of mistaken identity, but it was still Lorenzo Salgado Arrojo's fault, not taking any accountability, and they're trying to force the others in the van to deport as well, and they're still threatening them, and the family had struggled to get the body back of Lorenzo Salgado Arrojo. His son, Ronaldo, has given some of the most touching speeches about his father, who was clearly one of the most incredible people. They called him El Mundo Entero. He was the whole world to this family. He had lived in the United States for about 35 years. He was there with his wife, who he met in Mexico as a teenager. They were raising 3 children together. Every morning he would kiss his children goodbye in the morning, where he would do a hard day's work. And of course, he was still working on his paperwork, but he had lived here. He had paid taxes. He was a productive person in the community, a great soul, an incredible human being who has been taken from this earth by Donald Trump's Nazis, by Trump's Gestapo, and the people in the community are absolutely livid. The people of this country are livid. I want to show you what some of these protests look like right now so you can see they're continuing to grow and grow in the Houston area. A big protest scheduled for today. The Justice for Lorenzo protest at 6 p.m. at City Hall. I know a lot of people are going to be there. We'll be covering it here on the Midas Touch Network. Medical examiner ruled Lorenzo Salgado Arrojo's death a homicide. I want to share with you this video obtained by KPRC2 showing the moments before Lorenzo Salgado Arrojo got shot by the officers. You'll see over here, play the B-roll. He's in the white van being chased by ICE officers in an undercover SUV. Then appears to U-turn when boxed in before agents run after him. You'll see the agents running after him. And then shots were fired. You can see right over here, the white van that Lorenzo was in with the 3 others in the van, including his brother who worked at his company. You can see over here where that van was. You can see the ICE SUV that boxed him in when they executed Lorenzo Salgado Arrojo over there. I'll show you what some of these protests look like right now so you can see. I'm not going to show there's a graphic video of Lorenzo Salgado Rojo on the ground. He's screaming in agony and pain as ICE is letting him bleed out, forcing him to bleed out. And I don't want to play the video. I don't want to play the video. And he's screaming for help. He's saying, help, help me. I'm dying. Help me, as he bleeds out. And an ICE officer's just standing over him, letting him and watching him bleed out, doing nothing. There's no medical attention at all. I obviously, for obvious reasons, don't want to show that. Let me show you what the protests look like right now so you can see for yourself. I showed a little bit at the beginning of this video. You can see right over here the protests again. Let's play it.
ICE came to Houston and killed one of our own. This is not the first time that this has happened. We saw it with Renee Good. We saw it with Alex Preddy. And every single time they come and they tell us their version of events, but we don't see any evidence. If ICE was not in our streets, Lorenzo would still be alive today. True. Congress votes on funding to ICE. And I'm here today to say, not another dime. Not another dime. Not another dime. Let me tell you guys what my favorite part of this was so far. Aside from seeing your beautiful faces, my favorite part of this was the families that were coming out and they were feeling supported by you.
Houston! ICE out of Houston! ICE out of Texas! ICE out of Texas! ICE out of everywhere! ICE out of everywhere! ICE out of everywhere! ICE out of everywhere! ICE out of everywhere!
Now, let me share with you what Houston Mayor John Whitmire just said. He called on the FBI to share evidence with local police related to the fatal shooting of Lorenzo Salgado Rojo by this ICE Gestapo, by these Trump terrorists. Here, play.
All right, y'all. So we're going to just stop it there for a quick commentary break. Imani, would you like to give some of your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on what you feel about this?
Yeah, I think we'll leave it to people to go and watch the rest of the video because it's quite distressing and quite triggering. But please go over to Midas Touch because they do have a lot of up-to-date news of what's going on. And it's, as we always say, there's a lot going on out there right now. And so when people are talking about the smell of people's coochie and all the rest of the inane, unimportant things, there are people that are really going through it out there. There are humans that are like you, me, suffering out there on the streets. A man who's been here for 35 years, hardworking husband, business owner, to be unalived, on his way to work. It's tragic. It's really tragic. But what is refreshing is to see that people are willing to still protest, regardless of the suppression, regardless of the attempts to stop people using their voices, using their right to protest. It's a great thing because people are actually united against this. So this is the hope that we talk about. I know it seems really down, but this is the hope that people are coming together in unity to protest, as is their right, against these things. And, it's not going to be forever, thankfully. But this is what you get sometimes when you don't use your vote. This is what you get when, you vote for someone who's a personality and a liar and a corrupter in chief. But it's good that people are standing up for people and standing up and protest. And it's all people, it's all races, it's all humans are against this. No one is for this. No one voted for this. No one voted for this. I can't say much more than that. But there is unity out there and there is hope. I think there is hope, and people need to remember that come November, because they want you not to have hope. But I'm hopeful because people are uniting. People are even uniting in the UK against this kind of fascism that they're trying to bring forth, in this right wing Christian nationalism. So I'm hopeful for our race in the future, the human race I'm talking about. Let's band together and, say no to this. Say no. I can't say much more. It's way too emotional. But I'm hopeful that people are going to stand up against this. People are going to realize what the value of their vote now. This can't go on forever. It really can't. And I don't believe it will.
Yeah, y'all. Sorry. I agree. This is not going to be able to go on forever. We should never have to see days like this anymore. And it's been too much of this going on historically for too long. And it's time for a change. It's time for things to be different. And it may take us using our voices, our platforms, our boots on the ground, whatever it is that we can contribute so we can see and bring change for the future for our children. We can't live in a world like this anymore. No more. But y'all, we're going to take a quick song break. And then after that, we'll get into our next topic. And it's a little bit lighter, kind of, because it's from an excellent creator that does talk about some of the hard things, but does it with a dose of comedy. And I think we need a little bit of a laugh right now. And so, y'all, after this song, we'll be right back with that. And I will let y'all know what topic we'll be speaking on next. Thank y'all so much.
And
Right back.
yeah, and don't forget to go over and support Midas Touch. These are also independent journalists that they're trying to suppress. So go over, subscribe. They have great news on what's going on, short videos, that not long videos. They do 2 lives a week. The 3 brothers, and also Roland Martin, who brings a lot from the Star Network. Great people that are independent journalists that the government is really trying to suppress. But fortunately, these people's platforms have grown since they're taking over what was mainstream media, or lamestream media, as they should be called.
Thank you for that, Imani. And yeah, Daisy, I'll share that link with you. You want the one to the Midas Touch Network? I'll give it to y'all, and then I'm gonna go back and edit, and I'll put the links to these videos in my description box, y'all. I apologize. I'm sorry. I should have said that. I should have said that if I had them already in there. But yeah, let me go ahead and give you the link here to the Midas Touch Network. Very dope. I love being. Child, we watch him every day. Child, he be going in on Trump, child. I love it. And he's got a little bit of comedy within himself too. When it's not like super, heartful commentary and things that he has to report on. But if it's just clowning Trump, child, he will clown Trump and drag him for filth. And I love it. I love every minute of it. Because he deserves to be dragged. He's just made all of this terrible for all of us. But y'all, let's take a quick song break if y'all don't mind. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me so much. I really do. Let me get a tissue. I'm gonna play this song, and we will be right back, y'all, and get into the next topic. Thank y'all so much for all your support. We love you.
It's enough. It's enough. Yeah. Check the pulse of the nation, feel a tremor in the ground. Another hollow promise, another hateful sound. The burner phones are buzzing, the leaked DMs exposed. The country club whispers about the people in their robes. They smiling for the cameras, preaching unity and grace. We're drafting legislation to keep you in your place. The dog whistles the sirens, now the hoods are in the open. Igniting tiki torch shadows, leaving spirits broken. They wanna turn the clock back to a time of guilt and pain, where progress is a dirty word and fear is how they reign. But every soul they try to crush just learn to stand up straighter. This ain't a game of politics, this is gladiator. Enough is enough. The whispers turn into the youth. My fist is getting shut up. Enough is enough. We're the people at the table filling up our cup. This ain't about a party. The lines are clearly drawn. It's the light against the darkness that's coming for the dawn. Holy versus evil is the truth against the lie. We ain't backing down. With a fire in the sky. They coming for the libraries, wanna burn away the facts. Erase the bloody chapters so you can't see the tracks. They gerrymandering the district, drawing every map. Your vote is just an echo caught inside the power trap. They purging names from voter rolls and calling it secure, while scream about election fraud to keep their motives pure. They wanna legislate the scars upon a woman's soul, and own the very choices that were never theirs. Control from the classroom to the courthouse, a calculated scheme to suffocate the promise of the American dream. But they forgot the dream was dreamed by rebels and by slaves, and their spirit is the very ground that trembles in their graves. Enough is enough. People at the table filling up our cup. This ain't about a party. The lines are clearly drawn. It's the light against the darkness that's coming for the dawn. Holy versus evil is the truth against the lie. We ain't backing down. High in the sky. They call this politics. They call it policy. They call it survival. We call it tyranny. They stand on podiums with a Bible in their hand, but don't know the first thing about the soul of this land. This is for the teacher hiding books up on the shelf, for the doctor taking notes to more than just himself. This is for the dreamer facing down an ice patrol, for every ancestor's prayer that paid a spirit's toll. Their power is an illusion, a fortress made of glass. Our strength is in the future. They are terrified to let pass this hurricane of justice, an earthquake of the soul. It's a holy fire raging, and it's out of their control. Enough is enough. Stand to the ground, that you can't stand. Enough is enough. To the people at the table filling up our cup. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
All right, y'all. Thanks for rocking with me with that quick song break. I'm back. I had to get my emotions in order, y'all, but it's good. I'm back. And thank y'all so much for rocking with us. Thank you, Imani, for putting Roland Martin's link in the chats. And we also have the link for the Midas Touch Network there as well. And Daisy, you said you subbed to both, so that's great. Excellent channels. I think you would be, really pleased by the content that they do there. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into the next topic. While I'm getting everything set up, Imani, you have some things to say?
No, I was just going to say, Golden, you got some great songs with some great lyrics. I think, people should, go listen to her music channel. She's got some really good activist songs. She's got songs for every occasion. In fact, she's got songs for every life. But yeah, they're great songs, honestly.
Girl, I definitely got a song for every live. I don't know. Just music is my thing. I mean, I ain't no artist, no musician, and nothing like that. But I just like good music, and I just feel like sometimes we can put a powerful message, and just pair it with like good sounds and things of that nature, and sometimes that can help, aid and assist the message along, outside of just hearing somebody talk. You know what I mean? So that's all. But thank you for that, Imani. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you all for who enjoy and like the music as well. There's also a lot of other great people that make music, and then one of the ones that actually inspired me to make music uh was the Atlas Family Network. They have really great songs over there as well, especially like love and uplifting and things of that nature. So when I found out that was a theme, I was like, I was really inspired. So I just started making like, activist music and stuff. Everybody's making all different types of styles of music, and it's all really great. So we got to support each other and lift each other up for the things that we do and we create. And yeah. So let's go ahead, y'all, and get into a brief synopsis of what our next topic is going to be about. And this one will be, like I said, a little bit, less emotional, okay? It was kind of funny, honestly, all of it, but we got to talk about it. So we're gonna be going over to another one of our faves, and I'll put the link in the chat as well. But Reese Waters, he did a video shot about the Black people turn racist Facebook group into a roast session. So let's look at how people are handling digital ignorance. Okay, so comedian and commentator Reese Waters highlighted an incredible online event where a notoriously anti-Black racist Facebook group got completely infiltrated. Instead of getting angry, arguing, or letting the vitriol hurt them, Black users flooded the group and turned an entire page into a legendary nonstop roast session. They dragged the algorithms, clapped back at the creators of the group with generational humor, and completely hijacked the space until the original racists didn't even know what hit them. So, child, sometimes that's how you gotta fight racism. You gotta meet it head on, and do what you got to do. But y'all, I'm telling y'all, it's hilarious. And Reese Waters, he is he's a stand-up comedian, but he does cover a lot of like political things and social justice things, and he does it with such grace and class, but also a dose of extremely amazing comedy. So let's lighten the mood, y'all, and go ahead and get into this next video, child. When you talk about backfire, ooh. But let's get into it. We'll meet y'all in the chat per usual. Thanks for rocking with us. All right, let's hit play.
Y'all MFs in trouble now. Just letting you know, Memphis on the way in here, and we bringing all the ratchet effery. 901 is coming. Put your seatbelt on in this hole. 901, report to this post and invite every fool you know. Hey, get my coat. No, we ain't gotta leave. We just know the way out. Know your exit. When they start calling it this hoe, when the party start being called a hoe, you know what I mean? Just exit drills.
Violent, bro. What's going on?
Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Racist of the Week, where we explore the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination and hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. Of course, if you have any nominees, you can drop them in the comments. You can email me at admin@reesewaters.com. Today's nominee joined a group on Facebook called White and Proud. OMG, please join it. That's weird. I hate when you be getting spam messages. You know what I mean? I be getting people asking me to sell my house, wrong address, calling me Janet, all type of stuff. You know what I mean? Honestly, the amount of times that people have offered me temp jobs in Brooklyn, New York, where? You know what? I got an interview on Monday on a fishing boat in Nova Scotia. The way they just hit you up and don't even identify who you are. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Like I would want to be on White and Proud. Of course, here we go. Black failure, blame white people, George Floyd jokes, Martin Luther King. Of course. Well, we've seen all of this. And naturally, this is the person moderating that White and Proud Facebook group, making sure that he has called it a Christian Facebook group. Hashtag not ashamed of Jesus Christ. Well, you know what? He must not have seen his profile photo. He must not have seen Jesus Christ's profile photo, because from the looks of that Facebook group, you definitely would be ashamed. I'll be quite honest. Matter of fact, look like you shamed of the Facebook group. Don't look like you wanna own too much of that on your own profile, sir. This group, White and Proud, is going viral on Facebook after it was taken over. Who was that? Stephen Miller? Huh? Stephen Miller commandeered the White and Proud. Is that his new project? Or did they decide to make the guy, the admin, they decided to give him a government job? They put him in the State Department? Hey, no racism goes unclaimed by this administration. That's for sure. Y'all, there's a Facebook group called White and Proud currently being taken over by black people. And the comments got me in tears. Taken over by black people, you say? For 3 days, I've been seeing y'all troll that White and Proud page. I'm about to go over there too. Here's my new profile pic so the admins will let me in. Oh, she passing. She passing. Yeah, like we used to do back in the day. Hey, somebody tell her that the bar is set quite low. Yeah, she could just find a picture on the internet. You won't believe who was already there. Here's one of the members. I'm proud to be white. Account based in India. Vivek, is this you? We found your burner account. Well, don't leave it open like that. We can all see you. Hell yeah, they mad. The blacks have infiltrated this group. We can't have nothing. She said, we can't have nothing? Is that what she said? Wait till they find out. Why are black people in this group? Y'all remember this? Hey, no, because she didn't know why black people was in the group. So we need, man, a reminder. They needed a reminder. That's what the Montgomery Brawl was all about. Never forget.
Guess what? Switching his ass over there.
Look at me. It's our group now. For the same reason y'all enroll in HBCUs. They got y'all there. They got y'all there with the HBCUs. What was that y'all said? We can't never have nothing? Huh? Yeah, that's right. And we don't even get a degree from this. We doing it just for fun. Because we run the world. Please let me be black in every lifetime. We are invading your safe spaces just like you invade ours. Y'all want to do a trade? Y'all want to do a trade? Huh? We'll leave the Facebook group. Y'all have to unenroll from the HBCUs and unburn Black Wall Street. Can y'all do that? Can y'all unburn Rosewood? No, then we got to stay in the Facebook group then. That's just, yeah. Talk to your people. We invited ourselves to your cookout and we brought our own food and entertainment. Clearly it wasn't a party till we got here. Now, I'll be honest. It's never a party till we get there, if we honest. It's never. Hey, Queen Pen said a party ain't a party till it's ran on through. Look what we doing. Look what we doing. And look what your numbers was beforehand. And now look how you popping. Huh? Hey, got the cops called and everything. Oh yeah, I'm going. Let me see what's happening. So here we got a response to, I swear we can't have nothing. Nope, you sure can't, Amber. None of y'all are actually white.
Here it is. My test results. Can you hear my heart beating? Oh, the white man science is amazing, ain't it? Oh, no. This can't be. It says I'm 102% African with a 2% margin of error. Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Why?
Wait till they find out about all the accounts based in India. That's going to hurt Vivek in Ohio. Oh, John Snyder decided to clap back. The white man don't have to do anything to oppress black people, sweetheart. Black people are doing it all by themselves. Well, we working together now. Look how we took over your group. That's tough, John. That's tough. Trying to make an argument about suppression while your group done got took over. You know what I mean? That's... Yeah. You want to go ahead and delete that one.
Delete that shit, bro. Delete it.
Where's the admin? He probably done smelled cocoa butter for the first time. There's no telling when he'll be back. I'm black and I voted for Trump. Hashtag MAGA. I'm a chicken and I voted for KFC. Nah, dog, this ain't it.
That's a damn shame.
Now, wait a minute. If you self-identify yourself in the White and Proud Facebook group that you are black and voted for Trump, were you here before, sir? Were you here before, sir? Let me see your timestamp. That's before this went viral. You've been here for at least 6 months. Y'all MF's in trouble now. Just letting you know, Memphis on the way in here, and we bringing all the ratchet effery. 901 is coming. Put your seatbelt on in this hoe. 901, report to this post and invite every fool you know. Hey, get my coat. No, we ain't gotta leave. We just know the way out. Know your exit. When they start calling it this hoe, when the party start being called a hoe, you know what I mean? Just exit drills.
Silent, bro. What's going on?
Shout out to Proton Mail for sponsoring this video. We're all trying to be a little bit safer to your email contacts. Basically, anything you're purposely keeping over email to keep private. The email services that are free actually aren't. You just pay with your data instead of your dollars. And that's why I like what Proton Mail is doing. Proton Mail makes sure that your inbox is not for sale. Nobody can track you. There are no ads, no scanning your messages. Proton has more than 100 million users today, and it was founded by a team of scientists who specifically wanted to build a better internet where privacy is the default. Proton is governed by strict Swiss privacy laws. It's built with zero access encryption, meaning not even Proton can read your emails. Now with Proton Mail's Easy Switch feature, you can connect your email account to your Proton Mail account and receive and send messages directly from one secure location. You can also transfer all your contacts and emails at your own pace until you're ready to leave it behind for good. If email is the backbone of your life online, you got to have confidence in it. So try Proton for free by using my link, proton.me/Reese Waters. You can find the link below. One more time, that's try Proton Mail for free, proton.me/Reese Waters, or click the link in the description. And thank you, Proton, for sponsoring this video. Oh, somebody repost the group rules from the admins. Keep it white. Darker skinned individuals, please make your own page. Please leave. Can't you do anything yourselves? To which the comment, F the law and the superior race, but don't know how to figure out group settings. They got you there. They got you there. Hey, and you need to be a little bit more specific about darker skinned individuals. Yeah, because your president wouldn't pass that. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, no debate. To which Boogie Brown said, all the black people triggered over a group name is funny AF. Who triggered? Who triggered? They having fun. They roasting. What?
What happened? They roasted me.
Hey, it's hot outside. It's a whole heat dome over the eastern seaboard. We've been looking for something to do. This was just perfect timing. Hey, cousins, what do you think we should name our new group? Back to Black and F them people. Hey, put me down for F them people. Yeah. Uh-huh. Matter of fact, why don't you go F them people, Back to Black? Ashley Thomas done got into it with Alexander. She said, nah, that's your pappy. To which Alex said, I know mine, unlike you. Ashley says, the only way you know dad is because you also call him uncle. Alex, why would you? You need more black people in your life to tell you that wasn't going to end well. Come on.
All right, y'all. We're going to stop it right there for a quick commentary break, child. I was over here getting my whole life. My tears just dried up and turned into laughter. I love me some Reese Waters, yo. He is hilarious. And, child, the people is spoke, okay? They like, okay, since you want to infiltrate, we'll infiltrate too. I don't think you're going to like it when we come up over there. We bringing the potato salad. It ain't got no raisins in it, but we got to have a conversation. But anyway, Imani, you go first, girl. I got to wrangle up these dogs because, they be in the background just fighting and doing whatever they do. But what do you think about that, girl? What do you think about all of this?
I think it's funny that the group got taken over and it's gone viral. It's nice to have a good joke. They set up a group called White and Proud, and it just got black and loud. That is so funny. It's so funny that they didn't even remove them from the group. That was what was funny about it. They just let it keep going. That's what I thought was funny. It's nice to
No,
laugh at things like that.
you got to have a little lightness in what's going on. We know it ain't everybody. But yeah, that's the whole point. Like you didn't even block them. Like you wanted to engage. Because it gave you some hot sauce on the chicken that you needed, right? So it's just like, come on.
Sorry,
Come
I've
on.
just seen Amy's comment. Who puts raisins in potato salad?
Girl,
Some people
try,
do.
Amy. People like the raisins over there. And I don't know how that was an ingredient, but it may, hey, respectfully, it may derive from somewhere that I may not be familiar with their culinary arts. So I will just say maybe raisins in potato salad is a thing and it's traditional and it's nutritional and it's all of the things. But if you come into our cookout, please don't bring the potato salad with the raisins. We don't want it. And we're not going to take a scoop.
Yeah. But
Anyway.
This is Reese Waters, though. Go over and subscribe to his channel. He does some really good political commentary with a dose of comedy to it, which lightens.
I'm Southern white, and hell no. Exactly. Like, I don't know. Like, that may derive from a certain area or place. I don't know where that came from. The raisins and the potato salad, but child, they put them in there. Some of them do. I said, well, if that's your grandmama recipe, I ain't gonna laugh at your grandmama recipe. I don't care for the flavor, but maybe it's a thing for you. But anyway, child. Yeah. So one of the biggest things that I took from this is that, it almost just kind of reminded me like anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. I don't get
No,
it.
you
Like, I
can't.
don't. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. Yes, I can. But it's not funny because we shouldn't have to go to these little elementary lengths. You know what I'm saying? Of like all of this. Here's Reese Waters' link in the chat. Thank you, Imani. Daisy said, I have had raisins and apple in a salad, but not with spuds. Right. Like it just doesn't pair with a potato, just for some of us. But I don't know. Everybody has an acquired taste. It's fun. Put them on the side and I'll add them if I want. Exactly, Amy. It's like a garnish, like let somebody choose if they want to sprinkle it on top or not, But anyway, So yeah, so basically, yeah, they was over there doing the things and the things and the things, and it was a whole drive-by. They pulled up on them, they infiltrated the set, and I think they were just like, it's not fair. And then they were saying, we can't have nothing. You can't have nothing. You have everything all the time. And so I just think it's just very like, sometimes you gotta give people a dose of their own medicine. Not everybody, y'all. Y'all know just some of the folks who are very entitled, just pull up and feel like they're just gonna infiltrate your stuff and your places and spaces and whatnot. When you do that to them, now they don't know what to do. They crashing out. Oh my god, you took over the party. But they don't ever invite you out. They still let you stay because once you come, you bring in the subwoofers, you bring in the Hennessy, the potato salad without the raisins, all of the Kool-Aid, all of that. And they're like, oh, well, this really adds to the party. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. So they don't kick you out, but they still don't like the fact that you're there at the same damn time. What you think, Imani?
No, I just think it was good that they didn't have, angry outrage. They just made light of it and and just carried on trolling them. That's why I thought it was funny. But apparently this Facebook group has gone viral. I think sometimes that's the best way to deal with it is make them look like the clowns they are. So that's why I thought it was funny. You know, we can't be serious all the time, otherwise you'd go crazy. No, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. But yeah, definitely go over and support Reese Waters.
For
His
sure.
channel has really grown actually as well. Like
He's
share,
doing great work.
subscribe.
I seen him the other day. He was sitting down with the Maury. I didn't know Maury had a new podcast, but Maury has a new podcast on YouTube or like whatever, like the platforms and stuff. But you can find it on YouTube. Like the Maury show. And I seen Reese was over there with Maury the other day, so I was like, "Yo, shout out, salute, bro!" Like he doing really big things. That's really dope to be sitting down, with different places and different spaces and stuff like that. Daisy says, I cannot believe raisins are grapes. Child, okay, a raisin is basically, I don't even want to say it. I used to work in the nursing homes. That's all I'm going to say. That's what a raisin is. I don't like raisins, but I remember when I was young, though, for real, my grandma used to try to get me to eat raisins. I was like, nah, I don't want that. I don't like them. Or prunes, like prunes and raisins. Like, I don't like any really sun-dried fruit. I think like its time has expired. If it's already been dried by the sun, I think it's about a wrap. You know what I mean? Like for me. But some people like dehydrated fruits. Have at it. I need my moisture. I need the hydration that comes with the fruit. I don't want it when it's dry. It can't do nothing. But some people like that. It is.
I've
But
never
anyway,
understood figs. Figs.
figs.
Can't
What's
stand.
a fig? What is a fig?
It's kind of a how to describe it? You don't know what figs are? They're very sticky and sweet, and it's a sticky sweet. You never seen figs. Ugh.
No. Like me, sticky and sweet.
They are that yeah. They go in the bag with
No.
fruit with they go in the bag with prunes for me. They're small and they're kind of pear shaped, but
Okay.
they grow on fig trees naturally, but they're
Okay.
really Middle Eastern and Mediterranean fruits,
Oh,
and they're
you've been
very
picking them.
very sweet.
Oh, it's Mediterranean fruit. Amy said have been picking figs. You pick figs? Oh, okay. Well, I have to try it. I guess you can't really knock something until you try it. But no, I've never had a fig. I've never had that. But I'll try it. I mean, I'll see. And you said it's tasty? Is that what they
They
make the
are
fig
good for
noodle
you.
bars with? Is that what they make the fig Newton bars with? I've had a fig Newton bar. Is that what's in it? Is that what the jelly is inside the fig Newton bar from figs? Is that why it's called fig Newton bar? Imani, you leaving me here.
Sorry, I don't know. I've never seen a fig Newton bar. I just know they're sticky and they're fruity and they're a bit like prunes. You know, they're in that category. Some people really like them. They're very sweet for me.
I've had a date scone. A date scone is really good. I like that with coffee.
Dates.
You know.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah. A date scone, but like to eat a date by itself, like I don't want it by itself, but like a scone is good. I like that. I have a friend that has a fig tree making fig preservatives. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, so it's pretty tasty. Okay, well, I'll try it. You know, I'll try it. And Amy said yes. I think she was saying yes to the fig Newton bar. I think she was saying that with the fig Newton bar, like the filling that's inside of that's like from the figs. Okay. Prune is a dehydrated plum. Yeah. And a raisin is dehydrated grape. I don't know. Dehydrated fruits is not my thing. Except if it's like maybe like I'll do like a dehydrated like strawberry because I'll be eating Special K. And so Special K be having like the dehydrated strawberries in there. And I like that in my cereal. So I'll eat that. But just to like eat the fruit itself, dehydrated, I don't like eat it. It have to be with something. Michelle says my bread pudding does not have any fruit in it. I have one variety of a fig tree. One variety that I ate in LA, very large, also have a date palm. Oh, that's dope. Okay. You like prunes with custard, Daisy? Is that good? Prunes with custard? You can't knock something till you try it, though. You know, to be for real. You just never know. Because, like, you might taste it and you might be like, yo, this is really good. But I guess I just haven't been introduced to it. So I haven't had it yet. But I'll try. You know, it's good. I'll try it. Everyone head over to Michelle for bread pudding. Yeah, I like bread pudding. My grandma used to make bread pudding. Not with figs, but she used to make bread pudding though. But yeah, y'all, child. I'm telling you, we about to get into the foodie episode, y'all. Y'all gotta come back for the foodie episode because we be talking about food. So we're gonna do that one on a foodie episode, y'all. But we already at like the 2 hour and 31 minute mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play just a little bit more of this conversation, y'all. And then I did have one thing that I want to show y'all that I thought was crazy, and I want to know what y'all think about it. So we're gonna get into that, and then we'll take a song break and end it. But we'll listen to a little bit more comedy, and then I want y'all to see this one thing real quick if y'all want to rock with me. All right, hold on, I'll be right back.
You knew that wasn't going to end well. Log off. First time colonizing, kind of nervous. Hey, just lock hands and you know keep a firm count on one another. Who was the first one in? Huh? Who was the Jackie Robinson? We should at least put their profile photo up in the back. Yeah, like maybe one of them little curtains that we can put over one of the windows. Let's see. Simone posted a chair and said, "Enough said." Hey, as far as I'm concerned, that should be the test to get in. Whether that makes sense to you. If y'all don't get it, y'all gotta leave. We the captains now. This is a colors only group. Hey. Who put the F?
All right, y'all. That's enough of that. So let's go ahead and take that one down. But y'all get the message. Y'all get the point. You know, it's just a joke. It's just in good fun and stuff like that. And sometimes it's like, you know, you gotta pop, you know, like Kendrick said, you gotta pop out and show me, you know. But it ain't everybody. It's just a select group. Just that Facebook group right there. You know, it's a few other groups around, you know. And every now you need to just like pull up on a, you know, tipping on fofos and stuff like that, and just pull up on and be like, oh, okay, so what we doing? You know, and you just kind of, you know, you match the energy. But we are rising above, y'all. That's what we believe over here. That's what we want to see. Every now and then, a little jokey joke. Ain't nothing wrong with a little jokey joke, as long as it's not too visceral and too below the belt. But it's unfortunate to have these type of conversations because it's just like, come on, it's 2026. We still doing this in 2026, but hey, what can we do? This is where we at, and we have to combat it. We gotta fight against it. And there's a lot of us that's in the good fight. You know what I mean? And there, when I say a lot of us, I mean all races, us as humans, us as people. We're all embedded in this good fight because we don't want division. We're tired of division. We're tired of people pitting us against each other. We're tired of having to fight and fuss with one another and all of this stuff like that. We've come too far to be having to still do that in 2026. And I'm just gonna not let it fly. So yeah, sometimes I have to fight tooth and nail, against these things. And sometimes check thoroughly. Sometimes I'm not sure. Sometimes I make a mistake. Sometimes I'm on the money when it comes to it. But nah, we ain't letting them do us like that as a people no more. We want unity. We want unity. The majority of us want unity. And in order for us to have it, we have to fight for it, unfortunately. I mean, it's been that way historically, and it's gonna continue to be that way. And we're gonna fight for it because it's what we deserve, is what we want, and it is what our creator wants for us as well. In my personal spiritual belief. And um, whatever. I know we all have our own. But I'm gonna always fight for that because I know that's the world that was the vision. That was the vision for the world. That's what I choose to believe. I don't know if anybody else believes that, but that's what I choose to believe, that was the creator's vision for the world, for us all to be united as one, not separated, not segregated, not cut off on borders and all of these things. It's a big, beautiful globe. Why can't we all connect and be and have togetherness? I've never understood that. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother lot. Anyway, Monty, before we move on to this final video and do our wrap up, some song breaks and stuff like that. Do you have any final thoughts and opinions on the Reese video? I think it pretty much explains.
No, I just say that there's hope. Just, I think people should just try and just be unified where they can. There's hope for us. We've got to laugh at some of this stuff and just keep your head on a swivel. I'm not unhopeful. I'm not in despair because I think this too shall pass. And I really do believe that. But I think you got to be hopeful. You can't let this bring you down all the time. Just got to keep being you and keep being loving and kind to those around you and check on people.
Yeah. And sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. You know what I mean? That's why I love comedy. And I think that's why, comedy exists because, life is tough and things that you go through is tough. And sometimes if you just talk about it, which is like venting about it, but instead of like being angry and fussing and fighting and having animosity in your heart when you discuss it, you just laugh at it. Laugh at it and you get a better understanding of what's going on, and then you also got a nice little, rumble in your tummy from laughing so hard. And it's like you didn't kill two birds with one stone. So I think comedy is precious. Comedy is very precious to me because it's really a way to get across like sometimes some really hard and important things, but not as concentrated as it can be when you just, deal with it and speak about it head on. Laughter is definitely medicine. Laughter is indeed medicine. So yeah. But we do have this one little short video I'm gonna show y'all real quick. I just want y'all to see, child, the people be doing the things. So let's get into this real quick. All right, let's see what we got here. So, all right, so political commentator Simone Sanders Townsend completely torched the dangerous rhetoric coming from figures like Pete Hegseth, who have been actively targeting and questioning the qualifications of Black and minority service members in the military under the guise of attacking wokeism and diversity initiatives. Simone went off completely, calling it exactly what is blatant racism. She defended legacy, sacrifices, and unmatched excellence of Black service members who fought and died for a country that didn't even recognize their basic rights, proving that these political attacks are designed to purge Black leadership from institutional spaces. So, there's a lot going on when it comes to, this race stuff, and I hate that it has to be a thing and we have to talk about it, but it is, right? So off of the brinks of that, y'all, let's just take a look at this quick video. I promise y'all it's not long. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this real quick.
Looks like Pete Hegseth and his war on diversity strikes again. The Navy just announced it will start removing sailors who have medical shaving conditions after 1 year of failed treatment. The conditions in question disproportionately affect Black men. This seems to be a part of a pattern for Hegseth. You'll recall he previously blocked promotions of 3 female and 2 Black naval officers last month. Now, defense officials told the New York Times the move appeared to violate the Navy's apolitical and merit-based governance structure. The only question I have is, since he's gone after Black men who have skin sensitivity from shaving, which gets pronounced particularly when they shave, I just want to know what they're going to do with all those white boys with acne.
Or the ones with the beard.
Oh, the one with the beard.
Right, the special forces guy.
You know, this is just so beneath the military, which says to me that Pete Hegseth is beneath the service of anyone who should be in the job of leading the military. He should not be there. He has misplaced ideas. He has misplaced judgments. And I don't care if you are such a sycophant for Donald Trump. At some point, you got to have a core and realize that what you're doing strikes at the heart of an institution that in this country was on the forefront of opening up the country to appreciate its responsibility to desegregate itself, to fully integrate itself, and to welcome into service, going back to that great Civil War, y'all, of men of color who serve well and admirably.
Well, I mean, isn't the elephant in the room the fact that Pete Hegseth obviously doesn't believe in that? Yes. I mean, and I would argue neither does Donald Trump, because from day one, they have put a target on the back of Black people in the government, Black and brown people in the government, women, but also specifically in the Department of Defense. There's racially motivated military changes under Hegseth's leadership. Call these racist. February 25th, Trump fires Black Joint Chiefs Chair Hegseth, accused of promoting diversity. It's a CQ Brown, more qualified than he was. April 25th, Hegseth promises military promotions will be colorblind and merit-based under his tenure. September 25th, he outlines genderless fitness, height, and weight requirements described as the highest male standards. September 25th, a military announces these new grooming standards. June 26th, Hegseth blocks promotion of 3 female and 2 Black naval officers. July 26th, the Navy updates the shaving requirements to remove sailors with skin conditions disproportionately impacting Black men. It's racist.
It's absolutely racist. And I go back to something that you said earlier this week, Mr. Chairman, which is that
which part?
It's been that kind of week. I thought was very powerful for me to hear at this table, which is that as a Black man, and Black folks have loved the country, that have not always loved them back. Mm-hmm. And I think about all the Black folks who have died for this country. Mm-hmm. You think about the ones who are serving on the front lines right now. Some, by the way, who just died in this war in Iran, of those 13 service members. And the leader of the military is essentially saying to them, you know what? You're not good enough. Even if you're genetically predisposed to a skin condition, which, by the way, has no effect on if you can fly a plane, if you can steer a ship, if you can gas up something, it has no effect on that, right? But you know what? You're not good enough for us. And I think that is something that in 2026, after we've had a Black president, after we've had Colin Powell as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, it is so disconcerting and disappointing, and frankly, it's depressing. And I hope that young folks out there see this and go, this is not the way.
We got to call a spade a spade. which is a phrase that also is problematic. But to be very clear, this administration has trafficked in white supremacist, white nationalist policies. They're trying to imbue it into the government. And any outlet that doesn't call it what it is, well, they are participating.
Truth. Mr. Hexeth, we will not let you create your little Aryan military.
All right, y'all. So I just wanted to share that with y'all real quick. Just so you can see what is happening as of lately. But no disrespect, Daisy. I know Daisy was like, "What's shaving bumps?" But it's like Raina was saying. So basically, what shaving bumps is, and for people who have shave frequently, which are men predominantly. But there are some women too that shave. It could be your legs, it could be all parts of the body. But for most men, they shave the face and stuff like that. So when you're shaving your face, what happens is you have a hair follicle, and that hair follicle or whatnot, sometimes depending on the direction as to which you are shaving, which can't always all the hairs be shaved in the same direction. So sometimes when the hairs are shaved in a disproportionate direction, when that hair starts to grow back, instead of the hair popping out right away, it actually is growing up under the skin, and then it forms a bump, like a bump looking, thing on your skin. And so it's a razor bump. That's what they call it. And so, a lot of people who shave, men with their beards and, their mustaches and all that stuff, when that happens or whatnot, it does create those said bumps. And so what Herseth is saying, that if these black Navy SEALs or black men that are in the Navy, after a year time,
He's saying no. Sorry, he's saying anybody who has this type of condition, if if it's not treated or cured within a year, then you'll get kicked out of the Navy. But it predominantly affects black men.
What I'm saying, Imani, there's nothing to be treated. It's a razor bump. It's not a condition.
No, some people do get. No, what I'm saying is some people do get some sort of treatment for it because, yeah, there are people that do get treatment for those bumps because I have known people that have had the clusters and then they've had to get treatment. But he's saying that if this continues and you have to have treatment for more than a year, you'll get kicked out of the Navy. It's a joke.
Right. And so like typically at the core, you can have basic razor bumps, whatever. And then when it does get more advanced and things like that, you can go to a dermatologist, and there is a condition and diagnosis or whatnot for it once it gets heavily out of control and uncomfortable for you or whatnot. So you can seek treatment for that once it gets really, really bad. But at the core, all it, it can lead to a medical condition. But at the core of it, it's just a razor bumps.
Yeah, but you see, the best thing for it, having had having had a partner who gets them, the best thing for it is not to shave and let the hair grow out or get the hair out, because once you shave it again, it makes it worse. It's what creates those keloids. The problem is in the army and in the Navy, you have to shave because you can't have a beard and you can't have facial hair. So there's an issue. There's the catch-22.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So it's almost like you're danged if you do and you're danged if you don't. There's no way around it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You gotta do it.
Exactly. And it is a
So-
condition that predominantly does affect black men. It's even when they get them on their head as well. When people have these really low, close shaves. And when you get one... Sorry?
No, I'm gonna tell you. Somebody who has a condition like that, that is really, really severe is Forrest Whitaker. Have y'all ever seen Forrest Whitaker's scalp? Like his head?
Yeah. That's exactly
Forrest
what
Whitaker
happens.
has that condition, yeah. And so, like a Forrest Whitaker, if he was in the Navy right now, right, with that condition or whatnot, that is clearly controlled, it's not contagious, it's nothing that's harming or affecting the performance or anything. But if you have that, they're basically saying, now they can actually put your position within the Navy in jeopardy because you have that condition. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a catch-22 situation because you don't because a lot of people develop those keloids because they kept shaving on those
So
bumps.
much. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to do it all the time. So the very thing that they require you to do is now going to be something that's going to put you in jeopardy, specifically when it comes to your race. In jeopardy when it comes to you holding a position within the Navy. So I think that's real nasty work.
Crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean they do what they got to do, child. That's how they get down. But yeah, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? That is just the question that I continue to ask. Like, it's like once you see the bar set and you're like, okay, I see that bar, I can jump over that. And you jump over it and they set another bar even higher. So it's just like, what are you supposed to do? Like, all of this is just getting extremely out of hand. It's petty, it's pathetic. It needs to end. And again, this is in my personal opinion. And these things are not alleged that we're showing y'all is reports, and stuff. So it's just this is what's happening. Anyway,
2
before
more
we end,
years.
2 more years, y'all. 2 more years. And I just,
It's gone quickly.
it is going by pretty fast. You know what I mean? But we just gotta keep fighting tooth and nail. Because it's like you see somebody going up for a layup and you just slam it down. You know what I mean? Like every time you see them going up for a layup, just be taller than them, bigger than them, and slam it down. And that's it. And then we can keep the game going a little bit longer without defeat. So we just gotta keep slamming down, these layups, these slam dunks, all of the things, right? We gotta get out here. They're the offense. We are the defense. We just got to keep defending. And we got to hold it out until the game is over. We got 2 more years. We tired. We're going to be very tired. That's like playing a basketball game for 2 years in a row. But actually, 4 years. We had 2 before. We got through those 2. Now we got another 2. So we got to just lace up our Jordans, get up on the court, and we just got to play this basketball game, y'all. Every time they try to go up for a slam dunk, we just gotta block that ish. You know what I mean? You gotta play the game. But anyway, I just try to narrow stuff down and simplify things for comedy and relief and things like that. But that's just how I see it. And I know it's not like as easy as slapping a basketball out of somebody's hand before they put in the hoop. But it's like that's literally the energy we're gonna have to give this until we get through it. Like every time they go up for something, and we have great people when it comes to councilmen, mayors, some of these judges, Supreme Courts, all of the things, right? All of the people that's in their positions. That's literally what we're doing. We're playing a basketball game. And every time they going up to put it in the hoop, we gotta just slam that up out of there. You know what I mean? We gotta block it. So it takes a lot of skill and effort, and it's tiresome, but we gotta do it. And all of us can play our role as well. Even if you just the water boy on the side of the court, you matter. Okay, it's gonna make a difference. But we all fighting a good fight here against this mess, and we'll get through it. We're gonna get through it. And the most important for me, and I know, like respectively, if anybody else has a difference of religion or spirituality, that is absolutely okay. But I know for me, we pray, we stay prayed up, and we do what we can, to put in our level of activism in any way that we can. As far as if it's doing lives like this, bringing the awareness, talking about it, having real conversations that don't shy people away, but we understand the severity of what we up against, and how we need to play this game for real. I think that's the minimum we could do. Oh, not the magic shade now. Okay, we got my husband used magic shade powder, which is formulated to prevent razor bumps. Yeah, the razorless cream is available. Smells like rotten eggs, but it works. Yeah. Magic Shave is real old school. Magic Shave is really old school. It's a powder, and you whip it up. You put some water in there. You stir it up, and you make like your own, shaving cream or whatnot from scratch, and you put it on your face, whatnot like that. They got a lot of different versions come in a can. I know about that Magic Shave. Well, I don't use it, but my mama, her husband used to use that or whatnot. Her ex-husband or whatnot used to use Magic Shave. It's very old school. But yeah, razor bumps are a thing. It's a really big thing. And it's like when you're constantly having to shave, it's you can't there's no way around it. You're gonna get razor bumps. And sometimes people, they get them minor, and sometimes people's skin and stuff is real more sensitive, and so it gets very advanced and very bad. And so now all because of that, you can't be in the Navy? Like, come on. Like that's so weird and crazy. But anyway, y'all, we didn't held up too much of your time. Imani, do you have any final thoughts or words to say before we end it? I'll let you go first because I know it's later there for you. I have some final thoughts I will speak on after you're done.
Yeah, the world, or this world, can often feel loud, divided, and full of people competing for our attention. And there'll always be voices trying to pull us into negativity, outrage, and conflict. But remember, your greatest power is not found in matching someone else's chaos. Your greatest power is found in protecting your peace. Don't allow bitterness to become your identity. Don't allow someone else's anger to steal your joy. And don't allow people who thrive on division to distract you from the purpose that has been placed in your life. Instead, keep learning, keep growing, keep asking questions, keep showing kindness where you can, wisdom where it's needed, and courage when it's required. Every day is another opportunity to become a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. And to everyone chasing a dream, don't give up. Success rarely arrives overnight. Every lesson, every setback, every obstacle is preparing you for something greater if you're willing to keep moving forward. Take time to check on your loved ones. Tell people you appreciate them while they're here. Celebrate the victories of others because another person's success doesn't take anything away from your own. We all shine brighter when we lift one another up. And no matter where you're joining us from around the world, thank you for spending part of your day with us. Thank you for bringing your thoughts, your comments, your perspectives, your support, your love, and your willingness to engage in our conversations. And as always, let's choose facts over rumors, wisdom over noise, compassion over cruelty, and unity over unnecessary division. Take care of your physical health, protect your mental health, guard your peace, walk in integrity, and never forget that your character is what people remember long after the arguments have faded. And until next time, be kind to yourself, be kind to someone else, stay safe, stay informed, keep believing that things are going to get better. And remember, love is stronger than hate, truth is stronger than lies, and hope is stronger than fear. Um, God bless you all. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, Imani. Thank you so much for joining me as my lovely co host all the time. We have such great times together and bring so many different perspectives from different sides of this beautiful globe. So, from the US to the UK, y'all, we bring it to y'all here live, proud, and in color. Okay. So, go ahead, girl. I know you got a few things planned for this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll talk to you in a bit. But yeah, I'm
Yep.
so glad
Bye,
you guys.
everyone.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you guys love, the content, you love the channel, and you love some of the things we talk about in the energy over here. We really aspire to have this level of energy all the time. And I know sometimes you see me in rare form, and I have to turn up and turn out. I don't really like to be that type of person. I'm really so sweet and kind. I just like to lay back and chill and kick it and have a good time. You know what I mean? I don't like to fight. But I think the fights are coming to an end. I think we're really going to see a shift and a change. And I do have a few messages that I want to leave with you guys before we, end it with a bop shop, as usual. But I did want to tell y'all, so as we went through this live today, we traveled through some incredibly heavy terrain from the shores of the Mississippi to the streets of Houston and into cultural and political arenas where our humanity is constantly put on trial. We looked reality dead in the eye, and we do that not to break our spirits, but because truth is the only foundation we can build something real upon. But I don't want to leave you in this space this evening or, afternoon, morning, whatever time zone you're in, carrying the weight of the world without the strength to lift it. So true awareness isn't just about identifying the dark corners. It's about recognizing the fire we carry inside ourselves that can lighten them up. Knowledge is our first line of defense, but hope is our fuel. When we look at history, we don't just see a legacy of struggle. We see an unbroken chain of survival, brilliance, and unstoppable joy. We saw it tonight in how our people can weaponize. I'm sorry, I lost my place, child. I'm looking at something else. But we saw it today as how our people, can weaponize hatred and laugh it out in the room. We see it in how we stand together, shoulder to shoulder, demanding accountability for our children and our communities. The resilience that isn't accidental, it's in our DNA. A brighter tomorrow isn't a passive wish we make on a star. It's a reality that we are actively building every single time we choose truth over comfort and education over ignorance and solidarity over division. The system that tries to minimize us are loud. We got to be honest about that. But they are loud because they are terrified what happens when we wake up to our collective power. So as we close out this live, I want you to protect your peace, protect your mind, and keep your head held high. We are the architects of the future. The road is long. We got to be honest about that. But tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today with love, with wisdom, and unshakable belief in our worth. So thank y'all for rocking with me and Imani today. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will see y'all on the next stream. We want you to stay safe, stay blessed, and keep standing on the truth. So have a wonderful evening, everybody. Y'all know how we do it over here. We're gonna end it with a bop. And I will talk to y'all on the next live. So shout out to Daisy, Amy, Raina, Michelle came in. Mama was in the back. Imani hosted with me. Star came in earlier. A few people, I want to make sure I don't miss nobody. Swirl Gang came in to drop in. Thank you. Blueberry Street, Amy. Who else do we got here? I want to make sure I just give everybody their thanks for coming in. I think that's about it, honestly. I think it was Lil Zoo or something like that came in, All right. Thank y'all all for visiting. But yeah, y'all, let's go ahead and end it with a bop, 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 bop. I hope I didn't miss no one. I think I got everybody. It's just a nice little small group of us over here. But it'll grow. And, things is going to shift and change in a better way. I see the future ahead of us. It's going to be brighter days. Just like, that song there, y'all. But I'm going to end it with a song, and I will see y'all on the next live. Thank you so much. Even if you were listening in cuts, we appreciate that as well. We can feel your presence. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your day and weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow. Golden, Imani out. Bye.
Yeah. Ain't no more quiet now. Nah. Tell them run that back. I said, hands up, head high, 10 toes. They monetize pain while the truth get froze. Big talks online, but they hearts stay cold. Still fighting for rights that was promised long ago. We ain't your silence, we ain't your fear. Every time they shut a door, we appear. From the city to the globe, here the people get loud. You can bury one voice, but you can't stop the crowd. Yeah. I'm from the side where the pressure make diamonds, where mothers pray hard cause the system stay violent. Kids learn trauma before they learn signs. Politicians campaign while communities dying. Look, everybody tweeting, everybody streaming, everybody woke till the camera stop beaming. Truth don't trend when the money intervening. That's why the real ones exhausted and screaming. Big change, fake morals, podium capping. Whole lot of hashtags, ain't nobody action. Trying to sell the vision with celebrity distractions. Meanwhile, rights disappear through strategic reactions. Close schools, close polls, close cases. Still see hate written all on their faces. History repeating, just switching the phrases. Different decades, same games, new stages. And they wonder why the people don't trust. Every headline feel dangerous to us. Every promise turned dust, but we still rise up, 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 rise up. Hands up, head high, 10 toes. They monetize pain while the truth gets froze. Big talks online, but their hearts stay cold. Still fighting for rights that was promised long ago. Hey, we ain't your silence, we ain't your fear. Every time they shut a door, we appear. From the city to the globe, here the people get loud. You could bury one voice, but you can't stop the crowd. Yeah. Now everybody playing God with the algorithms, programming narratives and calling it the system. Who decides truth? Who decides wisdom? If the future artificial, who protect the children? Too much rage in the timeline scrolling. Young minds vulnerable, anger overloading. Everybody radical when the fear keep growing and the world stay tense while the missiles stay loaded overseas. War drums, contracts get signed. Oil power, money always hide behind pride. Poor folks pay while the billionaires glide. And the news turn trauma into primetime vibes. Talk peace with a smirk while the stocks go up. Tell the working class, hold on, but enough is enough. People tired, people broke, people fed up. Still they call us angry every time we stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Listen, it's bigger than left or right, bigger than red or blue. People just wanna live, people just wanna breathe, people just wanna matter. But every generation gotta drag justice uphill, while somebody profits off the chaos. That's the part they don't say out loud. Hands up, head high, 10 toes. True hit harder when the beat line rolls. Can't sell fear to a soul that knows. Power to the people, let the whole world know. We ain't your silence, we ain't your shame. If the people wake up, everything changed. From the city to the globe, hear the whole crowd roar. You can't dim light when the spirit want war. Rise up, even when they try to divide us. Rise up, even when the pressure find us. Yeah, yeah. Still here, still loud, still fighting. They don't know her like I do, nah. Golden. She moved through the city with her hair held high. Pretty brown skin with a storm inside. Everybody see the glow, they don't know the pressure. Smile so warm, but her heart no weather. Late nights riding while the skyline blurred. Trying not to cry when the memories occurred. Had to learn fast, everybody ain't loyal. Some people love you long as they control you. Now she move careful, energy expensive. Too many fake vibes hiding in the friendship. Used to give love with her hands wide open. Now every scar got the whole vibe frozen. They don't know her like I. No, they don't know. She goes by golden, soft voice, deep soul, hope or glowing. She goes by golden. City lights dancing with her heart stay open. Long dark roads, but she still stay focused. Everybody watching, but they don't really know. She goes by golden. Too much grace for the games they throwing. Real love, rare, so spirits they got it. Beautiful soul, but the pain left marks in it. Hear her tell the truth when the lights go dim. All the things she carry weight heavy within. She survived nights she don't even speak on. Still finding peace what the whole world ain't wrong. Funny how the love disappear when you're healing. Funny how the fate come around when you win. Now she trusts God more than people intend. Just cause smiles hot and being hidden in the deep. She's still soft-hearted but she way less naive. Can't keep pouring love but there's nothing received. Still dancing slow through the hurt and confusion. Trying not to lose herself chasing illusions. She survived the fire. Still glowing through the smoke. Still sad. Still dangerous. Still chosen. She goes back golden. Snow so deep made the whole room notice. Heavy lies couldn't break what was chosen. Still standing tall while the whole world folding. She goes back golden. Heartbreak turned to pensimatic. Now the tears got rhythm when she's singing. And they still don't know her like that. They still don't know her like that. Spend too much time looking for love in strangers. Spend too much time. Spend too much time letting outside voices shake the mirror. But at the end of the night, when the lights fade, when the city cried, when the tears dried, we still got